Oh wait, never mind. I was wrong. Mute number 4, that's me.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the YSC here for the Valley City Invitational Gymnastics Meet, our third and final home meet of the year for Valley City. Joining us today are the Wahpeton. I don't even know what their nickname is anymore. They've changed so many times since I've been around, but Wahpeton and the Fargo schools are joining us today. So that's going to be the teams that are here today. They're just getting ready to line up, as you can see. So we'll be with you here throughout this, and we'll do our best. I got Jossie Krewald and myself, James Thornton, doing the broadcast today. So we'll see how this goes. The first time working together at this gymnastics meet. So what do you think, Jossie, of the meet today?
It's a smaller meet. It'll go pretty quick, but there are a lot of great competitors here today. Two top ones are Karina Olsen and Abby Thornton, which we'll be looking at today. And then I think there's one Quinn Bassenwaite from Wahpeton. We'll be looking at her as well.
Yeah, so for Valley City, I looked at just to kind of, it's been a while since they've actually competed. They were supposed to be in Mandan last weekend and got out there. They went all the way out there, warmed up, and some of the judges went in the ditch and ended up sending them home, so they didn't get to compete. And then the meet before that in Valley City actually got canceled as well. So it's been a while since Valley City's competed, so I'll be excited to see how they do and come out after not competing for a while.
Yes, and it looks like they only have 2 meets left until EDC, and then the next weekend after EDC is state.
Yeah, things are wrapping up fast here at the gymnastics season. It's a quick, short season the way it is, so it's good to get as many meets in as you can before EDC and state. Obviously, those are the 2 meets that are very important, for the kids and everything, but they got to compete throughout the year to break in their skills and that kind of stuff. So just announcing the teams again. It's Valley City, Wahpeton. I believe it's Fargo Davies and Fargo Shanley, I think is how they have it listed, or Fargo South.
Introduction of the judges on the floor, Katie Hammer and Sheila Anderson.
We'll let you tune into the judges here.
And Rachel Woodley. On guard, Lee Walsh, Tara Hoffman. On beam, Grace Anderson and Lori Julian. On blue is Tara Hoffman. Just a reminder that there should be no flash photography. Scores that are flashed may not be the final. There is no concession, and restrooms can be found in the middle of the bleachers below the deck. At the conclusion of the meet, the top 10 in each event will be recognized. Would you please stand now?
We're going to take a little break here, and we're going to listen to the national anthem.
All right, ladies, do your chairs and go to your first event.
All right, here we go. We're getting ready. The gymnasts are going to be doing their cheers for the night. So Again, Valley City's gonna start on the vault. It looks like Wapton will be on the bars, Fargo South on the beam, and Fargo Davies on the floor. It's looking like how we're gonna start the first rotation. From there, Valley City will go to bars, beam, and floor. So Jossie, I believe, and I hope I'm not speaking out of turn because obviously you guys all out there know that my daughter's a gymnast, and I think she's going to throw a new skill tonight. From the way it sounds, it's a pretty high-level skill. She's going to do a layout full. I don't know if there's too many people in the state that have done that or even these judges have seen that. So what do you think of that?
I do not think high school gymnastics has seen that in years. I've never seen it personally in high school gymnastics, and only level 10s do it in USAG, so it's going to be such a big, cool skill for everyone in the gym to see, and I really hope we see it tonight.
Yeah, I'm hoping so. I know she told me last night that it depends on how warm-up goes, and when I walked in the gym, she just looked at me and she goes, I'm throwing it, so we'll see how it goes. So.
Same thing to me. We're excited to see it.
And they start on that, so we'll get a big bang right out of the gates, so it'll be good to start with that.
There are potentially 3 or 4 flipping vaults tonight from Valley, so we haven't seen that in quite some time.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've had that many girls flip on the vault, so it'll be nice to see. I believe Karina is going to possibly attempt one.
She said if her warm-up goes well and she flips during warm-up, she's going to throw it.
Well, that'll be exciting to see because, let's be honest if Karina can throw a flipping vault, she along with Abby, and she's going to be right there in the top 5 at the state meet. It'll be exciting to see what that does for her all-around score because, she's solid on the other events, and if she can throw a flipping vault, that's going to be huge for her.
Yeah, that could bring her vault average up a ton if it's executed correctly and pretty. And Maddie Wendell is also throwing a souk, I believe.
So if Karina flips, then we might have 4 because Grace Unman will flip too, won't she?
Yeah.
So we could possibly have 4 athletes from Valley City doing a flip on the vault, which is very cool. So I did some pre-work, when I got asked to do this. So just printed off some of the state standings right now. And if we look at the vault right now, Amy Fridley, she's got the top average right now in the vault at a 9.708, which is a phenomenal score. That is just crazy of a score. And then her teammate, Elizabeth Karski, who's a 7th grader, so she's new to high school. She's averaging a 9.50. Abby's ranked number 3 right now, averaging a 9.4 on the vault. Haley Nelson from Jamestown, who Abby tied with last year in the state tournament on the all-around, is averaging a 9.258. So those are the top 4 gymnasts in the state right now on the vault. The next, Karina Olson, for us is in 7th. She's averaging a 9.133. So, Jossie, I just got to ask you, you can expand on the vault for us a little bit more, as obviously all you listeners out there know that Jossie was a standout gymnast for us last year here in the city and did some amazing things through a pretty high difficult vault as well. But some of these vaults now, they're even getting harder and harder. I thought last year when you did yours, it was like, wow, if everybody could do that, that'd be cool. And now they're even throwing some bigger skills. But talk to me about the vault a little bit on what goes through your mind when you're attempting some of these big high-level skills on the vault.
It is intense. You're running at a stationary object, but I think vault is the most fun. It's just so powerful. And the top 3 girls in the state are competing layout Yurchenkos, and Abby might compete a layout full today. And so that is so big to hear. And a layout full, I can't imagine what's going through Abby's mind when she does that. I've never attempted a layout full in my life. So I bet she's pretty nervous, but I think she's pumped.
Yeah, I know my wife came home today and she said that Abby was actually nervous for today's meet. And I'm like, Abby, she's been doing gymnastics for a long time and been competing for a long time. And to be nervous at such a small meet, that's kind of just, maybe it's the big skill that she's going to throw. Is that what you think she's nervous about?
Yeah, you don't hear that much from Abby. It must be.
Right. When I heard she was nervous, I actually got a little nervous for her myself. But it's kind of weird to hear Abby be nervous. But as we can watch her sit over there and watch the other girls warm up and get ready, she doesn't look any out of the ordinary or anything. But
she seems pretty calm.
Yeah. So we'll see once she takes the warm-up stuff off and actually starts looking at throwing that layout full. It'll be exciting to see if she actually does it. So it looks like to me we're going to have some of the new, I want to call them gymnasts, are going to compete on the vault for probably the first time this year. I know they've done a few other events as the year has gone. It looks like Lanaya is going to compete on the vault, and then Elizabeth, her last name is Nordby. I believe Lanaya's Riviera Osgood. So it'll be nice to see some of these new people compete. I don't think they've competed much. So to get them out there and let them compete, it'll be exciting for them.
Yeah, last year I'm pretty sure they just trained all season getting ready for this competition season, and they're finally able to present their skills to everyone, so that's super exciting for them.
Yeah, it'll be good to, just get them out there and get them broke in on the competition side of things. I mean, obviously you can practice and train, but once you step out to compete, the nerves are there, the judges are here, the crowd's here. I mean, it's a whole different ballgame when you're competing live in competition. Some athletes are just doing some last-minute warming up, and we should be underway here. Just touch base on some other activities that have gone on the last week. Valley City Wrestling had a tough duel on Tuesday night in West Fargo, Cheyenne. Cheyenne beat them, which is going to knock Valley City off of the EDC Championship totem pole for the first time in 5 years. They've won the EDC 4 years in a row. They wrestled Fargo South last night. Handled them pretty easily. Actually, for the first time ever in school history, the wrestling team got max points of 84, which means they got 6 points at every weight class, which is basically you either pinned or they had a forfeit, or, Fargo South didn't fill it, so they got 84-0. Basketball, I believe, is playing Fargo Davies tonight. I'm not sure if the girls are home or away.
I think girls are home.
Girls are home, boys are away?
Yeah. So, I believe that was Lanaya's first vault.
Yep, so if we want to zoom into the vault, we can show you some of these skills. Lanaya went for the very first time she's ever competed. So she'll get 2 attempts on the vault. That's the only apparatus in her event that you get 2 runs at it. So on the bars and the beam and the floor, it's one and done. That's what's so unique about this sport. It's basketball, you can get around and put it back up. Here, it's one and done. You either hit it or you don't.
So Lanaya is doing a souk timer, or you could call it a half-on. So this is what a lot of girls are going to be doing, except they're going to be adding a flip to it. So maybe that's Lanaya's goal in the future. And the judges are just judging her first vault, and Lanaya will get ready for her second one. And here she goes. Much better than her first one, just a small hop back and the legs separated on the table. I'm not sure what that start value is, but good for her first attempt.
Yeah, I'm sure Lanaya's super, super nervous out here today. I mean, like you said, it's the first time that she's ever competed on the vault at a meet. And it looked like Elizabeth Norby warmed up as well, and now it looks like Victoria Sanchez is also going to compete for us for the first time this year on the vault. And I've had some conversations with Victoria. Very talented, very athletic kid, new to gymnastics. So she came up and she said, she goes, I want to be like Abby and Karina. And I'm like, yeah, that don't happen overnight. So very, very dedicated though, a hard worker, and she's got potential to be, could help the team out, maybe next year down the road, as she's only a freshman this year.
That is awesome to hear that Abby and Karina are such role models to these younger ones and helping them get used to gymnastics and not be so nervous. They're really playing a role as captains this year.
Yeah, they've come a long way, and I always, talk to my kids about it. And, again, Abby's my daughter, and obviously she's a gymnast. And I remember back when she was in 5th and 6th grade and in gymnastics, and, you had the Abby Browns and, some of them girls that were pretty good gymnasts back then, and the Sailor girls, and they were really good to her. And I just told her, I said, you remember that feeling, because someday you're going to have the reverse role and have to be a role model to these 5th and 6th graders, and they are. These kids look up to them. I can tell you stories about all the times these little kids come up to the girls and all that stuff, and it just means a lot as a parent, and it's great to see for our community. Looks like Elizabeth Norby will compete her vault here.
So Elizabeth is competing a front handspring, and she only had a slight hop on the landing. It looks like Lanaya scored a 6.7 for her half on. Pretty good for her first meet.
Yeah, actually, I mean, a really nice score for her for never competing, coming out as a rookie. Or she didn't compete last year. She practiced last year, never competed. So she had a little bit of that experience on the vault table last year, but never competed. So 6.7 is a pretty good score, actually, for her very first varsity competition.
And she's going for her second attempt now. That was also pretty similar to the first one, just a slight hop on the landing.
And Elizabeth is a new gymnast as well. I don't believe she's been in the gym prior to this year, so it's good to see some new people coming out and trying the sport. And Jossie, you can contest to this, that you don't become a good gymnast just overnight and in 1 year. I mean, it takes years and years and years of practice to be good at gymnastics. I mean, there's some kids that I know that have been in gymnastics a long time, and they're still struggling with some of the skills.
Yeah, and even them just starting their freshman year, they have a few years to grow, so it's going to be exciting to see them during their senior year.
Yeah, I mean, if they stick with it and continue to do it as anything, I mean, the more practice, the better you are, and the further along you can get.
Yeah, that would be awesome to see them as seniors for the high school program.
Just waiting in here on Elizabeth's scores. It's nice to see them putting Johnny Tobler, the head coach, to work. Some of the girls, the young girls, we'll talk about that in a little bit, are heading to their first competition ever down in Farmington, Minnesota tomorrow. So we're short on runners, and we're short, so we're making do, and we're putting Coach Tobler to work, so that's good to see. And Elizabeth's score came in at a 7.10.
And Victoria just competed a half-on and stumbled on the landing just a little bit, so that'll be a 5/10 deduction. And she's going to go for her second attempt now.
Yeah, that's one of the things you see her, you can just see it in her face how mad and disappointed she was after that stumble. And that's good to see out of these kids, especially, ones like Victoria who is, determined to get better and try to improve her scores. And, if you come out and you think, oh, I did good, that's okay, and they laugh and joke about it, then it's, you're not encouraged. But these kids that are like mad, they want to do better, it's nice to see.
She stumbled on that vault, and she is okay, but they're going to take that first vault, unfortunately.
Yep.
Not exactly the second vault she wanted, but hopefully she is okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of them things, like we all know, I've been around the gym long enough. This isn't an easy sport. I mean, coming in here and doing some of these skills and, trying to do these, I mean, it's not easy. This sport is one of the most difficult sports, I think, out there. Right behind, honestly, I think the second toughest one is probably wrestling. It's a sport like wrestling that you can't look for somebody else to help you, because it's you and the vault or you and the wrestling mat.
And she knew she could do that vault. Her mind probably got the best of her, and she was maybe a little bit nervous from that last vault. But you just have to go into practice the next day and work even harder at that vault to nail the next meet.
And that's just it. It's so hard. I mean, you gotta discouraged right now, but Jossie, just as well as we do, you're not going to nail your vaults all the time. I'm sure there's been times where you vaulted and you came off that vault probably were like, I'm done with this, and just wanted to give up at it. But you just got to get back after it and continue to practice, and that's the way you're going to get better.
Yeah, and at these small meets you can't be so hard on yourself, but at the big meets is where it really counts, and you really got to nail it there. So it's okay for her to fall at this meet. We just got to nail it at EDC and state. For
sure, and those are the ones that count. I mean, obviously, we all know that you want to do the best you can do at every meet, but the ones that really count are the ones at the end of the year. EDC, and I believe that is in Wahpeton this year. So that'll be good to go down there. And I believe you probably know better than I do. I'm going to probably miss a year or be off a year. I believe Valley City's won the EDC 5 of 6.
I think so, yes.
I believe it's 5 of 6 years. And honestly, I blame Abby Thornton on the year that we didn't win.
I 100% agree.
So just so all you listeners out there know that when Abby was an 8th grader, she decided that gymnastics wasn't for her, believe it or not. We're not sure why. And she went and tried basketball, and it just wasn't her cup of tea, and she came back to the gym, which we're really glad that she did. But that was the year that Grand Forks did knock us off, and we didn't win the EDC, and we believe with Abby's scores, we probably would have won that year as well. So we couldn't be on a 6-7 peat, but instead it's 5 of 6. Looks like Maddie Wendell.
I think she is touching.
Okay, so this is just a warm-up again. That's just a touch. What is it? Do you get 2 touches or do you get 1, or what is the...
Well, on vault you get 2 touches,
okay,
and then you'll compete for 2 times, but on bars it's about 30 seconds, and beams 30 seconds, and floors 30 seconds. So
it's timed on everything else,
yeah.
And obviously you can't time a vault, so you get 2 times you get to go, and then that's it.
And it's not everyone will probably use the 2 touches, but I think Maddie's getting ready to flip on her second attempt, so we'll see us during warm-up, and that'll tell us whether she...
In the initial warm-ups, how long do you get? Is it timed there too? When you warm up before the touches and all that, like in your initial warm-up when they come to the gym?
Well, it depends on what meet and like what teams, how many teams there are, but usually you get like 12 to 15 minutes, I think. And she did flip it, so we'll see that during competition. It's exciting.
Yeah, she actually looked pretty good there again.
But at the state meet, I think you get 2 or 2.5 minutes per person, so it's limited during state, which is a lot of pressure. You have to get all your skills in during that warm-up.
Not a lot of time. So let's talk a little bit about the younger girls, the 6, 7, 8, 10-year-olds, 11-year-olds. They're heading to Farmington, Minnesota to compete in their first mega gymnastics meet. So it's something Valley City's really not used to. We're used to USAG gymnastics, which is a very competitive gymnastics levels. They have level 4 through 10, and then you become elite. So Mega is more geared towards kind of the high school gymnastics, but you can cap out at Mega, and then you have to go USAG. So I don't know if you know much about it, Jossie, at all, but from what I understand is you can compete Mega, but once you have too many skills, then you got to go USAG.
And USAG is a great program for the older kids that are wanting to do college gymnastics. A lot of scouts are always looking at them and recruiting them from USAG, so starting at Mega is a great opportunity for those little kids to build up their skills and then go to USAG.
Yeah, and there you just saw
Zoe Bierke?
Zoe Bierke has drawn a blank on her name there. She just competed her first vault, so she'll have her second one up and coming. And Victoria's score came in at a 6.6, which again is actually for her first competition isn't a bad score, even though it wasn't what she wanted it to be.
And Zoe just competed her second vault. I missed the landing, but she's giggling a little bit.
Yeah, I think she kind of went off the back of the mat. I don't think she fell, but she went off the back of the mat, took a few steps, and kind of stumbled there. You want to touch on some of the upcoming events in Valley City here?
So it looks like Tuesday the 1st, boys basketball 9B are at South. Or at the Hack, actually.
So that would be the freshmen.
And the JV and varsity are also at the Hack at 5:30 and 7. On the 3rd, there's a junior high basketball game in the North Gym. And on the 4th, there is a girls varsity basketball game versus South at the Hack at 7:15.
Those are just a few events here in Valley City, as Grace Sundum, I believe, is touching her attempts.
She is also competing as Suk. That's exciting.
Yeah, so we are going to have possibly 4 if Karina decides to flip. We'll see. So we're going to have 3 for sure, which, again, we haven't had 3 on the same team probably ever that I know anyway.
A few years, yeah. Probably since my 8th grade year.
Yeah. So, and if Karina decides to flip, that'll be 4. That'll be probably a school record, huh?
Yeah, that is big for a team to have 4 flipping vaults, and that brings the start value up for each individual. So our team score should be increased if everyone lands their vault.
Yes, and that's what we need. Speaking of some team scores, we can kind of go through. I got some stuff here. Let me find our team scores out there right now. I thought it was kind of ironic, Valley City's had their last 2 meets that have been canceled, so we only actually have 3 team scores in the books right now at the North Dakota High School Activity Association. And right now, Valley City has 3. The first Valley City one, they scored a 141.15. The second Valley City, a 140.8. And then in Jamestown, kind of struggled over there with a 138.85. Dickinson is averaging the highest scores for anybody right now with their score average of a 147.438. Jamestown has the second best average of a 142.8. And Valley City's in third right now at a 140.267. So with those scores, Jossie, like you said, adding these flipping vaults and all that kind of stuff are big for team points to maybe get us up there in that 142 and compete with Jamestown.
Okay, Maddie is flipping her vault right now. Awesome vault for
she
Maddie.
was up there.
That was huge.
That was
Good for her. Very exciting.
Yes, Maddie Wendell got high off the table. Very good to see. I just think Maddie Wendell, she's got potential to be one of them gymnasts that could creep up on you at an EDC or a state meet. She can help us out big time in the all-around and each event because, she's got potential. We all know she's got potential. So she's just got to kind of get out of her own head, let her loose, and let's go.
Yeah, she's such a strong athlete, and that was the first time she's competed that vault since state, and she took 2 tiny steps on it.
So Maddie Wendell's a freshman here at Valley City. Her all-around scores lately have been coming in. She's had a couple lower ones at a 31.825 and a 31.67. She did have a 34.025. But for Valley City to compete in this at the state, to be a competition for a state running, they need Whozer, sorry.
Okay, thank gosh for the soft landing
Yes.
there, but that's what we mean when getting in your head. She does hit her head a little bit, but she's such a strong athlete, and that first vault is going to score well. That's not exactly what she was looking for her second vault, but there was a good first one.
Yes, after that first one, the second one was kind of nonchalant. Maybe she shouldn't have even competed it because the first one was so nice, but it's nice to see the second one for the competition, get the practice out there. So it's good to see her. It was good to see her flipping. I know last year she did it at state, and she was very excited. I believe that's what she kind of did last year at state, too. She flipped the first one, and the second one she didn't quite flip.
Yeah, but she did land the first one at state,
yes, she
too.
Did. So I know you were grabbing the vault sheet. I don't know where Maddie is. She's on here.
20.
27th, so she's 27th. So I believe, again, you would know probably better than I would. I think I'm going to be right on this, but the top 40 athletes in each event get into the state, correct?
Yep, and then the top 30 in the all-around.
Okay, so the top 30 in the all-around. So I believe Maddie right now in the all-around, if I looked right, she's down there in about 39th right now.
And Zoe Bierke is just ahead of her with 38.
Yep. And like you said, if Maddie can start flipping these vaults, her scores are going to go up. She's going to I think she can sneak into the top 30 and compete all around for us. I think Zoe could. Right now, the 3 above them, Abby Thornton, Karina Olson, and Grace Undum is in right now at 22. So those 3 are in the all-around state competition. So let me explain this a bit to you, as I think I'm going to be right again, Jossie.
Okay.
Karina's kind of getting ready to warm up. She just decided to run by the vaults. Her steps must not have been on. But I think this is right. So if you're in the top 30, you compete all around. You're in the top 40, you compete in each event. So you can place in that event, but you obviously can't place in the all around if you're out of the top 30.
Correct.
So you have to be in the top 30 to place all around, but then in the 40 to place in that event. Okay, so that's good.
But if you are in the all-around and not in one certain event, like say you're not in beam, you still compete beam on all the events, but you cannot place on beam.
But you can't. Okay, so that's good to know too. So if you are kind of weak in one event, say you're weak on the beam like that, and you're not in the top 40, you can't place in that for that event.
Yeah.
But you can still compete all around. That's good to know.
And it looks like Quinn Bassingwade is up on bars, so we'll head over to bars for her routine while Grace Undum is getting ready.
Quinn's from Wahpeton. She's a pretty solid gymnast herself. She's got some ties to Valley City. She comes here in the summertime and works out in our gym. And Quinn's got potential to be a good gymnast. I think she got hurt last year.
Yep, she's battled through many injuries, and this is her senior year. So showing off what she's got here.
So far, it looks like a pretty solid routine.
Two extra tap swings there. That's about 3/10 each, but a huge dismount.
Nice routine. Looks like
Grace is up on the vault. Another Souk and one step of the landing.
Another solid run at the vault for Valley City right now.
Two in a row there.
I don't know if we have the team score on the what their team score is for the vault at all. Do you happen to know what our highest team score is?
I feel like it was really high last meet. Maybe 36, 35.
So what we're talking about is they take 4 scores for the team, and that's their team score. So you add up the top 4. At a lot of meets, you can only compete 5 or 6 gymnasts. I think today they're letting more go because it's a smaller meet. So, but again, you take 4 scores and add it up, and that's your team score, and that's how they get the total team score on each event. Looks like Maddie Wendell's vault came in at an 8.525. So not a bad vault for Maddie.
A little bit lower than usual from her front handspring full. Grace does another great vault. Her chest was a little bit lower on that one and took one step on the landing, so they'll probably take her first vault.
Yes, you are correct. That is a little lower for Maddie, but if she can clean it up, I mean, it was a pretty nice vault. I thought she got half the table. So, I guess the judges must not have woke up on the right side of the bed or something. But I thought it was very good. I mean,
she should be very happy.
Yeah,
with it.
I definitely thought it should have been higher, but I think that all the time. I think.
I do too.
So,
it's okay.
It happens, I guess, right?
Yeah.
So we have Karina Olson left to compete and Abby Thornton yet to compete. And Abby's getting ready to warm up. We'll see. Maybe we'll get a sneak peek of this layout full, or maybe we won't. So the suspense is on. I know she's excited to throw it. She's been wanting to do her upgrades and compete them. And I know it's, high school gymnastics is kind of... interesting, let's just say the least, because we all know it's, how you perform the skill. It's not what skill you perform.
Yep, they're focusing on being clean and
yeah.
not as high level.
Right. So, I mean, you get into the next season, as you want to call it, which Abby's going to go on and do USAG after the high school season. So there, it's basically you get put in levels according to the skills that you can do. So it's a lot more fair.
Yeah,
is that the word?
Yeah. Everyone in your own level is competing the same skills
Same
as you.
skill sets. So a little bit about USAG, just so you guys know out there too, compared to high school. High school is really focused on how well you do that event, so not necessarily the biggest skill that you can do.
And we just saw that with Maddie's vault as well. She competed a way higher level Souk that scored an 8.5-ish, and she usually scores 8.7s with her front handspring full. So I don't know if she'll go back to the front handspring full. The Souk is more fun to watch, but it's all about the score at the end of it.
It is, and that's, the one thing that, I fight with at home, and we fight with all over the place, and we fought with the last few years. I wish the high school level would go to the same thing that USAG does, and let's just go. If you do a higher level skill, let's reward them for it.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll see Abby rewarded if she makes her layout fall later, but we'll have to see.
Karina Olson getting ready to compete the vault here. Karina Olson is currently ranked 7th with a 9.3, 9.0, and 9.1 in, averaging a 9.133. And again, we both know that if she flips, she's probably going to, maybe get some higher scores.
And it looks like she's just doing her regular vault right now.
Yes.
I don't even know what you call that, but
not sure how to call that either.
It was a solid vault, just one step on the landing.
Yeah, Karina's, like I said, one of the top gymnasts in the state of North Dakota in high school, for sure. I mean, obviously she's ranked in, number 5 right now in the all-around. She's had some scores. One meet, we've only had 3 meets put in, and she had one meet that she she did good at. I mean, still over a 36, but it just wasn't, you know, her other two meets are over 37. So when she can throw that 36 out of there, she'll probably, I mean, the top 5 gymnasts are all equal. Let's be honest. It's going to be a dogfight at the state meet this year between them 5.
And that's what's a bummer about only having 3 meets right now. You have to count your lowest score.
Right.
There's none that you can just throw out like everyone else can.
When you look at these other meets, I was just kind of ironic, or not ironic, but I mean, you look at like Mandan, they've competed in 7 meets. Dickinson, Jamestown, Wahpeton have all been in 6 meets. Grand Forks 5, Fargo Schools 4, and then we're stuck down there at 3.
Doesn't look like Karina's flipping today. I think she might upgrade from the last vault she just did. Johnny is discussing with judges right now about what it is.
Okay, yeah, I don't know.
It's going to be a surprise to all of us.
We'll all be surprised. It'll be good to see something different, though. I mean, we'll see what she does. I'm not sure. The judges are kind of talking with Johnny, and Johnny's talking with the judges, so we're not so sure.
So Grace Undum got an 8.45 with her Souk vault. Not exactly what we're looking for with all these flipping vaults. Scored way lower than she usually does.
Yeah, Grace Undum's her, 8.8, 8.5, 8.5, so pretty close to where she's at, but she does have an 8.8 in there. But, Jossie, I mean, let's be honest. I mean, for us to compete with Jamestown, get in the top, we got to flip. We just got to clean them up.
We do. Yes. In Karina's second vault right here. So she added a half twist on that one, but didn't miss the landing. Over-rotate a little bit. Still has a smile on her face.
Well, I don't think you can ever get rid of that with Karina, no matter how she's doing out there. You would think Karina's scoring 10s on everything because she's always smiling and laughing and having a good time, which is awesome. I mean, it's good to see her just going out there having fun and enjoying what she does.
Yeah, it also helps that she had a solid first vault, so they'll take that one for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So Abby Thornton left to compete on the vault for Valley City. We'll see. Is she going to throw it or is she not? She will throw a layout for sure, and we'll just see the difference. What we're talking about is a layout full, is she's going to twist in the air as she does a layout. And for you that don't know, a layout's when you keep your body completely flat like a board. So.
And I want to say in USAG, this level for level 10 may be a 9.4, 9.6 start value, and then a layout would be a 10. But in high school, her layout does start at a 10. But the layout full is also going to start at a 10.
Right. So as you guys know, in high school, that means basically a 10 is your top start value. So if you get to that layout that's a 10, and you add a layout full, which is the next skill level, you just can't go any higher. So we'll see. Here she goes. We'll see if we're going to get to see it or not. I'm on the edge of my seat, Jocelyn.
I think she'll be competing her layout for the first ball to see how that one is. And it's
you are
huge.
Correct. A couple steps on the end of it, but she was up there again, got good height. So
very open in her layout, not a pike in her body, so that should score very well. Karina got an 8.625 for her vault.
Yeah, again, kind of a lower score for Karina on the year. She's usually getting 9s, but again, Valley City hasn't competed in over 2 weeks. So you could tell me more. I mean, does it affect you when you don't compete weekly?
I think it does. They're used to practicing, not as many nerves when you practice, but when you have to get out on that stage and compete everything on the real equipment, no pit or anything, it does probably affect you a little bit.
Yeah. Abby Thornton's second of vault, and see if we get to see it today or not.
I think we're going to.
There it is. Oh, she came up a little short on the landing, but you know what? That's beautiful.
Still crazy to see. That's awesome.
It is. I mean, it'd be interesting to see, and maybe we'll get a sneak peek with the judges here to see if they've seen a layout full in the state of North Dakota recently.
I can't remember the last one I've ever seen.
No, I don't know who. I don't know if the Fossums ever did it.
Nope,
I don't
they
think
did the front vaults.
Yeah, so like you said, I don't know that anybody's competed that in North Dakota recently. It's a very high skill. I mean, you look at a lot of the big colleges. I mean, that's what some of the college girls are doing at that big D1 school.
Yeah, most of the college girls are doing that skill. So.
Right. And that is her dream. I mean, I think she'd like to go to Oklahoma, but I think that might be a stretch. But you can always have a dream, right? So
Now they are going to warm up on bars, and everyone, it looks like Fargo's are going to vault, Wapaton's going to beam, and the Valley's going to bars.
So Abby got a 9.55 on her vault. I'm
Huge
assuming
score.
that was on her first one.
Yep.
Because her layout full, she touched her hands and
I think maybe her knees touched, so it would
They may
also be
have,
5
yep.
tenths, 3 to 5 tenths. So they definitely took her first vault, which was a huge vault. So
Abby's trying to tell us something, but I don't know what she said,
didn't hear
so I
either.
can't read lips that well. But again, so Abby's normal vaults, 9.35, 9.55 once before and a 9.3. So we'll get to throw out one of that 9.3 and add a 9.55. So that's going to, it won't move her up. It'll keep her in third, but it'll get her close to that up there. So again, it's another event that possibly Abby could win at state. If she can figure out how to throw that layout full and lay it clean, I would think she would have a good chance.
yeah, she's up there with both Elizabeth and Amy. They all three do the same vault, so
Yep.
it's just going to be a toss-up.
It is. It's going to be fun.
Who's on that day?
It is. That's what it's going to come down to. And, I mean, you can sit there and say, well, Amy Fridley's the best gymnast in the state. She was a state champ last year. She's very good. But if she has an off day, she would still be considered one of the best gymnasts in the state. But on that day, it's who competes it. Now, let me ask you this, Jossie. Going into the state meets, I know we don't at Valley City compete back-to-back days like that. So, obviously, we're going to compete in the team event on Friday night. And then the individuals is on Saturday. Now, does that play an effect how you compete the next day? I mean, are you tired? I mean, tell me be honest. Does it affect you the next day?
It does affect you. It's really tough. We usually try to do back-to-back meets in the regular season to get used to state, but having a meet at 4 p.m. on Friday and then having another meet at 9 the next day really takes a toll on your body, and you have to make sure you're ready and your endurance is there and you're ready to go for that second day, because that is also an important day.
Yeah, and they're both important days, right? Because obviously on day one, you want to do the best for your team, right?
Yes.
You want to score high for your team, and then the second day, you want to score high as well. And
it's for individual.
Yeah, and it's all about peaking, right? That's when you want to peak, is the end of February. I look at last year, I look at Abby's scores. She was in the 34-35s, and all of a sudden, boom,
Abby
at
peaked
state,
at the right time.
she got 36s. So, it's all about peaking at that time. And that's huge, not to peak too early and not wait till it's over to peak. So we got Wapaton on the balance beam, and looks like Fargo South on the floor, and Fargo Davies is on the vault. Valley City will be on the beam. Valley City's just kind of taking their time tonight here on getting their warm-ups in.
Everyone
I
else
think
has already started.
trying to control the meet tonight, and it's going to be on their time, I guess. But I guess it is what it is. I don't got nowhere else to be tonight. And so excited for tomorrow, though. Again, we've mentioned it before, the young girls. They got some talent there. There's some really good gymnasts out of Valley City that are going to compete for the first time tomorrow. So
They've waited so long to compete. I don't think they competed last year at all. So
no, these girls have been waiting and waiting to compete, and last year they didn't get to compete in any competitions because of COVID. Then this year they were supposed to go to, I can't remember the town, but somewhere in Minnesota as well for a meet, and the director of that club got COVID, so that got canceled. So here we are. We're going to compete in our first meet. I know Jay Potratz and Nora Jacobson. There's some kids that are going to be really good and really excited to compete for the first time.
I think we did see a sneak peek at the blue and white meet a few weeks ago.
That's right, we did. We had some of the girls that competed in that, which was actually kind of cool to throw them in the mix of things, since there was the time and we could do that, because it was just a blue and white with Jamestown and Valley City. Kind of do a little fun meet there with Jamestown. They intermixed the team, so they take a couple girls from Valley and a couple girls from Jamestown, and then they added a couple of the younger kids on them teams, and then they compete against each other. So it's like Valley City kids are competing against Valley City and Jamestown against Jamestown, and it's just kind of a fun little meet.
I'm glad the little girls got that opportunity as well, get some of the nerves out before their first big meet.
For sure. That's probably a good thing that they got to do that. I know it was only a handful of them, but you know, I do have another daughter that's 7 that's competing tomorrow for the first time, and let me tell you, she's scared. So it'll be interesting to see how she does. We'll try to catch Quinn Bassenwaite on the beam when she gets there. We'll let you know. There is a gal out of Fargo. I don't believe she's competing today. I think she's in her street clothes. She is 13th ranked in the all-around right now, I believe. Let me find her name for you. Keely Earlet, something like that. She's an 8th grader. She trained at AGG prior to joining the high school scene. And I believe you said she was up there in levels, so you know, she's probably got some potential to do some damage in the high school as an 8th grader only. So we'll keep an eye on her, you know, at the next few meets. Obviously not going to get to see her today because she's in street clothes, maybe beat up a little bit, hurt or something like that. So let's get into the bars. I got some, you know, Amy Fridley again. We've mentioned her name a lot. She's a junior out of Dickinson. She's averaging a 9.667 on the bars, leading rank number 1. Again, Elizabeth Karski, she's a 7th grader out of Dickinson. She does have a twin sister as well. I believe she's ranked 2, but she's kind of down there a little bit. So she is ranked 2nd, averaging a 9.650, so very close to Amy. Karina Olson right now, she's the junior for Valley City, averaging a 9.433 in 3rd. And Jamestown's Haley Nelson is in 4th right now at a 9.425. And then there's another Dickinson gal that is in 5th, and then Abby's in 6th right now. And Abby really hasn't hit on bars yet this year, so looking to improve on that for her. I believe Victoria Sanchez is competing right now live on the bars. Again, it's one of those things that's nice to see her get back up and get after the next event after the vault that she had, and very disappointed. So kind of got to have a short memory in gymnastics because if you have one bad event, you got to get up and do another event.
You just got to forget about the last one.
Yeah, so you got to have short memories. And, you know, it's good to see her out there doing the bars again. Probably not the routine she's looking for, but I just have a feeling she's got it in her.
You got to get the first one out of the way.
That's right. Once you get this first one out of the way, she'll fight back and come back hard and give it a bet, you know, work harder in practice and just get better. I mean, I know I can see she's frustrated, but it's good to see her out here. It's a tough sport. So again, Valley City is coached by Coach Johnny Tobler. He is originally from Minnesota. He's been at EGG. He's been at TNT in Fargo. We're glad to have him here. His assistant coaches are Courtney Mack. She was a gymnast at Jamestown High School a few years ago. I believe 2 years ago she was a senior, so a couple years out. And then another assistant, Abby Brown. She was a gymnast. How many years ago was Abby in the gym? That's been quite a few years now, isn't it? Did you ever compete with her?
No, I think it was my 6th grade year.
Okay, so, and again, I'm with Jossie Krewald here, and she was a gymnast, a standout gymnast for us last year. Jossie finished 5th in the all-around last year at the state meet, which was good to see her get in the top 5.
Yeah, we had 2 Valley gymnasts in the top 5 last year.
I was just going to pull that up. Amy Fridley from Dickinson again. She won the state all-around with a 38.4. Zoe Prince, she was from Legacy High School in Bismarck. She was a senior last year, finished 2nd with a 37.450. So Amy almost beat her by a whole point. And then in 3rd, we had a tie with Abby Thornton from Valley City and Haley Nelson from Jamestown at 37.267. And then our colored person here tonight, Jossie Krewald, with a 36.883. So we had Jossie got looks like a 9.317 on the vault. She had a 9.433 on floor, a 9.317 on bars, and let's just not talk about that beam, Jossie, right?
It was never my favorite.
That was never Jossie's favorite, but she got an 8.817. So just think, if Jossie could have got the, you know, that 9.2, 9.3 area, she'd have been right there neck and neck with Abby and Haley. So it's important to be on consistent.
Yeah, and I don't remember the last year that 2 gymnasts were in the top 5 from Valley.
Yeah, I don't know if we've ever.
That was unbelievable.
Had 2 in the top
So
5.
amazing.
It's been a while, I'm sure. That was Benaya on the bars there. So. Up next, it looks like will be Elizabeth Norby. Again, these 3 are all new to the competition scene this year, so it's good to see them get out and get into some competitions, though. As we know, as an athlete, you don't want to just practice, because that's no fun. Later, but we're not watching this anyway, right? Just going to grab my calculator and give you guys a team vault score.
I think the average would probably be around 35, maybe a high of 36.
So again, we take Abby's 9.55.
We are only counting 1-9 this time instead of, I think it was 3 or 4 last time.
Queen is 8.625. It's like a 35.15.
Not exactly where we want, but it's not bad.
And like you said, with 3 flipping vaults, it's definitely not where we want to be. But, if Maddie and Grace can clean their flips up, they're going to push the 9 mark. And Abby can stay consistent at that 9.55 or possibly maybe get up to that 9.7. And then if Karina, can flip or just clean up her vault. I mean, it wasn't one of her best vaults. She's been averaging she's up there like a 9.133. So even if she can get back up there, we're going to be pushing all 9s and be pushing that 36, 37 mark.
Yeah, I do think she has made that second vault before. So if she can get more consistent with that vault and score 9 3s, 9 2s, our vault score will average a little bit higher.
Right. We'll keep you up to date here. Again, it's the first time a couple of these girls have competed on the bars. Some scores are coming in.
I think they're just still deciding on a nice score, and here Elizabeth goes.
Again, gymnastics is one of those sports that, it's a team event, but it's also kind of an individual event. You can't look at your partner to come out and pass you the ball or get you over the bar or anything like that. So you're all on your own. Very unique sport and very, very cool sport. Hard on the body, though, I'm sure.
Not a bad routine from Elizabeth. She did add a kip, and I think that's new for her. So that's great to see her make that. And she did add a flyaway, which we didn't see from either of the first 2. So great start for Elizabeth.
Yes.
I think she is very happy with that routine.
Let's talk about Grace Undum a little bit here. As she's warming up on the bars, what an improvement in the last 2 to 3 years Grace has been and helped out and stepped up, and just the skill level that she's performing now. She's doing some skills that are, very good. She's doing giants on the bar. She's flipping on the vault. Doing some good stuff for Valley City. She's come a long way. I remember watching her back, 3 years ago, and it was like, she's good. But now I think she's turned into a really good gymnast.
She's great. She's improved so much over the summer with the help of Johnny, of course.
Yeah, again, she's in the top 22 in the all-around right now, so she's in the all-around event. Look through the bars here and see where she's at there. 23rd, so she's ranked 23rd right now in the bars. I don't think she's really hit on bars yet, though. She's had an 8.25, 8.2, and an 8.45, so I think she can improve that score. She's up her giants. She's doing a lot of good things on the bar, so look for that score to get up there higher. Looks like Maddie Wendell right now is in 38th on the score sheet for bars. And again, Maddie had one pretty good bar event. She had an 8.525, but her other two scores we got in here are a 7.75 and a 7.40. So with that, I mean, if you look at, take those two scores and get her two more 8.5s, I mean, she's going to move up and she's going to be in the top 20 as well.
Yeah, and you want to kind of be in the top 20 because it's a way less pressure back for the last
Getting
two
into
meets.
the final meets,
Yep,
right?
because anything can change at EDC. Anyone can hit a great routine and bump you out of the 40.
Right, yeah, you're sitting in that 38 spot like she is.
A little risky, yeah.
Can be nerve-wracking, so we'll hope that she can put together a good one today. Zoe Bierke going on bars right now.
Touched her feet on those two kicks will be a slight deduction. And solid, entering the routine, just a slight step on her dismount. She'll be happy with that one.
Yeah, she was pretty clean, like you said, other than the touch and the little step on the dismount, but solid routine. Maddie Wendell, again, as we talked about on the bars, we need to get her a nice score here today because we got to get those 7s out of there and get them up in the 8 so we can move her up into the mix of things. I mean, she's in right now, but like you said, I mean, it puts a lot of pressure on her at EDC if she's at that 38 mark. Two Dickinson girls behind her, and Dickinson can produce, so we don't want them to knock her out.
Maddie has also improved so much on bars over the summer. Now she's doing giants, which we maybe saw last year. I'm not sure.
Don't remember if she did giants last year or not, but again, we all know. I mean, she's got the perfect build for a gymnast. She's strong. She's a very, very good gymnast. We got to get through that head thing, and once you get through that, I mean, she's going to be a good gymnast. I said it last year. She's only a freshman, so she's going to do good things in her future. She's a hard worker when she's in the gym. So it's that one little mental block. If we can get through that mental block, she's going to be, I would say, top 10.
Oh, I agree.
And I mean, to be a top 10 gymnast in this state, pretty good. I mean, we got, a lot of good gymnasts up in that top 10 mark right now. And Addison Fitter from Dickinson. I mean, Dickinson's just solid. I mean, you look at the top 10 right now, they have 5 gymnasts in the top 10. Grace Sundom on the bars. Drug her feet as well. Get there.
Perfect.
Stick to this now.
That
Nice.
will drop one of her other scores in the rankings. Awesome routine by Grace. One slight touch on the floor on one of her kips. I think that's about 3/10 off. But I did not see many other deductions in that routine.
No. And that's, let me ask you about that, Jossie. And coming through in that low bar, I know it's a deduction, but it seems like it's one that almost every gymnast, they drag their feet there. I know Abby and Karina on their bails, they're trying to keep them up. It's got to be, is it hard to get your feet up like you need to off of that?
You really got to slow your momentum down, especially on the skill that Abby and Karina do on their bail. You have so much momentum coming from the high bar, and you just got to keep your feet up.
Yeah, Abby's been working on that Takashif move, and I asked her, I said, we were, the other day, watched her do it, and there was about 7 attempts at it, and she just couldn't get it. And it's like her momentum, I asked her, I said, why are you flying so far back? And she goes, I just got to slow my giant down. And
yep.
As a fan, as a spectator, you would think, why would you ever want to slow your giant down? They're supposed to be fast, right? So you got to control your body and control yourself up there as well. So Abby's just warming up right now. Got a score that came in that we're not sure. Jossie's going to run down and check for us so we can get that score. I believe Karina Olson will be competing here. I believe right? Yep. So, again, Karina is ranked 3rd right now in the state, averaging a 9.433. Very good score. She got a 9.65, 9.4, and a 9.25. So we'll look to get rid of that 9.25 and have her increase on that. Abby must be doing another little short touch here. Not so sure.
Maddie isn't.
Okay, we got this figured out score-wise, I believe. Louis Bierke came in at a 7.125. Grace Undham an 8.30. So they're close here. Let me check as Maddie Wendell's competing. We're looking for a good score out of Maddie here tonight so we can get rid of those 7s so far. Giants look nice.
Got her first. Oh, hit her.
There we go. Let's just get her.
Awesome job from Maddie. She hit her toes on the bar twice that routine, and she still went for her flyaway. She made both of her giants. That's an awesome routine for Maddie.
Yes, we'll hope it scores as well as we think. And that 8.3 on Grace, that will throw out one of her 8.2s, so she'll improve a little bit. Not a whole lot, but it will improve her. So that's always good to see.
So Maddie did have an extra swing before one of her flyaways, which would be about 3/10 off of her score.
Okay.
So hopefully she gets that out of her routine before EDC in the state, but we'll see.
Right, and that's always been her thing. You know, she always gets that extra swing in there. But, you know, I always find it funny that, you know, you can do those giants up there like that, and then you just, you know, you can't flip off
Right.
of them right away. But I guess, you know, it's easier said from here than what it actually is, and you know that. Now, do they get deducted for hitting their feet on the low bar like that or not?
I think she will if the judges saw. I think it was just a toe, though, so
Yeah,
we'll
I
see.
didn't see it. You saw it, I didn't, but you obviously are the expert here and know a lot more. Karina's warming up on the bars. I don't want to miss Abby's routine. She'll be next, but Quinn is going on the beam here, so if Abby's not competing, we'll swing over there and take a peek, but we'll leave if Abby gets ready to go before Quinn is done. Again, Quinn is from Wahpeton. She does come to Valley City in the summertime, and I believe she stays here with somebody and does, you know, work out in our gym a little bit, so it's kind of nice to follow Quinn as well.
So it looks like Abby will probably be first, so I'll head that way.
So Quinn, just to fill you in a little bit on Quinn, she is in 19th right now in the all-around in the state, so she, you know, should compete in the all-around, so it'd be nice to just to follow her and see how she does. I know I did find out that there is another gal from Wahpeton who's a sophomore this year. I don't remember her name, but she is actually not doing high school. She's decided just to go to USAG, and she's traveling to Fargo and just competes USAG, as a lot of the Fargo athletes only do USAG as well.
They have a great program there at AGG and TNT, so.
They do.
Maddie got an 8.225, so I think that will bump out one of her 7s that she had.
It will. That will be a big improvement for Maddie on bars. She had a 7.4 and a 7.75 that she's thrown out. And Abby on the bars. Do a
Hit
bail here.
handstand there.
Keep her feet up.
Oh, just one tap. And hit that handstand as well. And she's good for a double back here. Super high double back and one step of the landing. Great routine for Abby.
Pretty nice routine. Again, Abby's scores right now that are registered in the state. She's sitting in 6th with a 9.15, a 9.2, and a 9.1. Last year at the state meet, Abby's bar score was a 9.517. And I believe individual day, I think she scored a 9.45. It was right there too. She actually had the best score in the state last year on team day, and Amy Fridley decided to pull it a 9.6 and beat her on the individual day. Valley City has never had a gymnast win a individual event even at the state meet. We've never had a state champion in gymnastics.
Hopefully we see that this year.
We're hoping that we have a couple.
We have potential
we
to
do.
have a couple.
We have two dogs in the fight, so it's going to be interesting. I mean, if they're on that day, they both could win many of the individual events and possibly win the all-around. Again, I always think it's kind of funny. You know, when you look at the all-around, it's basically consistency, right? I mean, if you hit on 3 and don't hit on 1, you're not going to be up there.
Yeah.
But if you're consistent, you could finish 3rd, 4th, 5th on every event and still win the all-around. So it's all about consistency on there, hitting on all 4 events. I believe both Karina and Abby have upper 37 to 38 potential. You know, it's basically to get that, you got to have a 9.5 average on every event.
Karina is competing now.
So Abby did improve with a 9.45.
Awesome score. Nice hit handstand from Karina. And she doesn't touch it on the floor. That's awesome. Okay, and another hit handstand. And she's doing a similar routine to Abby's, except this routine is going to...
Oh, no.
She did hit her feet on, and she's laughing.
That's Karina. That's
she
what we know her
hit her feet
as.
on the low bar, which slowed her giant down before her dismount.
That's got to hurt.
Oh, it does hurt. Yeah.
And she's like, I didn't do nothing. Yeah, that's got to hurt.
It was a solid routine up till then. Now I think she's going to get on the bar and do a layout full as a dismount.
So a fall is half a tenth,
Half a tenth, yeah.
Not half a tenth, half a
Oh,
point.
yeah.
I want to say 5/10 of a point on a deduction. And I believe the tap on the floor drag through is 3/10 on the way through.
I think so, too. Solid finish. One step.
Not bad. I mean, that fall, I mean, obviously she's still going to score. She hit all of her other stuff, going to score decent. You know, if she wouldn't have fell on the one giant, she would have had a really nice score. Again, Karina's got some nice scores already on the bars. 9.65 is her highest, so averaging a 9.43. I'm going to say probably a low 9 on that routine because of the fall.
I'm about there with you, maybe high 8.
Maybe.
Because she did touch her feet. Or no, she did touch her feet.
No, she did not touch her feet.
That
Abby
was one of
touched
the
her feet,
best
so-
fails I've seen,
Yep.
actually.
Yep.
Good for her. Yeah, it should be
Not
low
much
9,
of a
high
deduction
8.
other than, maybe that little step. I don't know what that is for deduction on the landing. But other than the fall, not much to deduct.
And she'll get all of her bonus since she did repeat the skills.
Yep. Then I'll get you a team total here for the bars.
Looks like we're going to be dropping a set. That's
Yeah, we're going to be all in the 8s. 8.3 from Grace, 8.225 from Maddie, and 9.45 from Abby. And we'll wait on Karina's score here, 9 flat. So we were both kind of right. I said a little above, you said a little below. We met in the middle. So that's kind of how it works too with two judges, right? So they both score it, and then they meet in the middle. So obviously right here, let's just say one judge had a 9.1 and one had an 8.9,
Yep.
and they met in the middle. So
Yep.
that's how we get that.
That's a great score for Karina, especially for a fall. Imagine if she didn't have the fall.
So
around a
9.5.
9.5. Yep.
I mean, right there with her average, 9.433. So nice routine. You clean that up. She will. 34.975 for the team score there. So again, we need to get some improvement there to be able to compete. I mean, obviously our goal is to win a state championship as a team. It's going to be tough. Obviously, we're 7 points behind Dickinson, and we're only 2.5 points behind Jamestown. I don't think we've had a meet though where both Abby and Karina have hit, and then we've had 2 other kids hit. I mean, we've been, Abby and Karina have been pretty consistent in that upper 36s and low 37s. But again, I think they both have 38 potential.
I agree. And even Maddie, just up her skills a little bit, Grace Undum, Zoe Bierke, all 3 of them have potential to score 35s.
Right, and that's what we're going to need at the EDC and at state. I don't feel EDC, I guess. I mean, I think EDC is, we should, as long as, the girls just do what they do and show up, we should walk away with the EDC championship again. It's the 2 teams, other than us out there, are Dickinson, Jamestown, Bismarck possibly could scare somebody. Other than that, I really don't know that anybody's going to compete. As you can see, the team scores after our 140, the next closest is a 132 by Bismarck Century. And then Grand Forks is a 131. So, 8 points to make up is a lot. But again, that's where we have to make up to compete with Dickinson, because Dickinson's going to nail a 147 out at state again. It seems like they always do.
And they have so many athletes, so they have a lot of room for error if they need.
And that is, you look at both Dickinson and Jamestown. I believe at state, you can compete 6?
Yep.
So you compete 6 athletes and you take 4 scores. Well, as you can see for Valley City right now, we're 4 or 5 solid, and then we drop off. So we really probably will only compete 5. In most events, Jada Nelson is back in the mix of things on beam and floor, which will help us. She has a bad shoulder, so she's not allowed to do bars and vault. So that's going to help us to have her scoring out there. And, we just need one of these girls to step up in 3-4 weeks at the EDC. I mean, there's still time. They just got to get after it. They got to work hard, and then they can do it.
And it is nice to have a little bit of a bigger team, way less pressure at state and EDC.
Yep. I remember the story, again, I talk about my daughter a lot just because that's what I do. But remember 2 years ago at state when we were out in Dickinson and she broke her ankle, competed bars, but that put a lot of pressure on the rest of you, Olivia and you and Karina, and you guys had to hit to compete. And I think we still finished 3rd as a team, which was awesome. So you guys all stepped up after she went down and hit, and that was just great to see.
Yeah, I remember that day like yesterday.
Right?
Right by me.
Yeah.
Oh, I felt so bad.
I know, I walked into the gym and here she's in bawling, and I'm like, well, what's going on now? And
I think it was one of the last events to warm up.
Yeah, she said it was her last leap on the floor that she was warming up, and that was the last event we're on to warm up. And
one of the easiest skills.
And boom, there it went, right? She was devastated. And I think she felt she let you guys down more than anything, because that put a lot of pressure on the rest of you, because at that time, again, we didn't have 6 to 10 gymnasts that could come up and do it. It was you and Olivia and Karina and Grace. It's the same people that are here.
Like 4 to 5.
Yeah,
small teams.
Yeah, so we had to take 4 scores, and we didn't have that many to choose from. So that's a nice thing. You look at both Jamestown and Dickinson, they got depth. They got kids, so makes a big difference, and you look at Wappen here too. They only got 6 kids here. So, they got to hit. Fargo's only got 7, 8 kids. They got to hit. So there's a lot of pressure on you when you're in those moments.
It looks like Victoria is warming up on beam right now, and then Lanaya will be warming up after her.
So it's good to see these kids doing the all-around. doing every event, get them broke in.
Especially for their Victoria's first year, even doing gymnastics
ever being in the gym at all.
Great to see.
Yeah, I hope she keeps a smile on her face and
sticks with it.
Yeah, I really do. I think she's a really good athlete.
Yeah.
She competes on the football team, so she's a freshman. She's got that determination. I can just see it in her body language. She's got the determination, like, I can do this. And I just hope she can stay with it and don't get frustrated as this sport, because this sport, you're not going to be good overnight. And you're not going to be good in 1 year.
It is tough to start when you're a little bit older. And some of these girls have been starting since they were 2. Maybe Abby was 6 or.
I think Abby was 6 when she started. I know Karina was in it before her.
Yeah. Starting young.
Yeah, I mean, it's, kind of crazy. I don't know if you saw my Facebook memory the other day from Abby when she was on the floor. I wish I could show it on the TV right now or on the screen for you guys, but she was doing a round off or something and just fell flat on her face. And
that was one of the
popped back up. I know your mom loves it every time I share it, and it's great to see because it just shows you how far you guys have all came, in this sport. We've been fortunate. We've had some pretty good coaches over the past few years. I'll never forget Dave and Suzanne out there, Maddie. I mean, all of them excellent. And I'm glad to have Johnny here. So we're doing some good things in the gym. Our numbers in the club are up. I think we're over 100 kids again in the gym, which is awesome.
Yeah, he's really building the program.
He is, and that's, good to see. There's Lanaya on the beam. So I just saw Karina working. You did it. So, I mean, as you guys know, that beam is only 4 inches wide. So they're doing some pretty amazing things on a 4-inch wide, flat square, if that's what you want to call it. And they're not soft.
Not at all. You saw she probably hit one of, her side of her leg on one of her cartwheels. Just walked it off like nothing.
Right. Yeah, Lanaya, again, was in the gym last year, didn't compete at all last year, so good to see her. I know she was going to be moving. Glad her family stayed around and glad to have her in the gym still. It was good to see her stick it out and come back out. I think she's having fun. And
yeah,
again,
I think she enjoys it.
She's got, the build of a gymnast, so hopefully if she sticks with it, she can help us out down the road. Looks like Zoe will do her one, so they get 30 seconds to do whatever they want to do on the beam. Most of them do their leaps and, maybe their series, as you call it.
That 30 seconds flies by.
I'm sure it does. Can you explain to everybody what a series is on the beam? When everybody says, you got to connect your series.
So it's 2 connected elements. You backhand, forehand, spring, back walkovers, maybe backhand, back lay. You just have no wobble in between. It's like a consistently moving skill.
So if you pause, it's
it
not connection. So that's a deduction. If you don't connect your series, was it a half a point,
no,
I believe?
in high school it's only 2/10.
It's only 2/10 in high school. Okay, so really it's not the end of the world.
No, it's not the end of the world.
Then you get a bonus for connecting it if you do connect it, or is it how are the bonuses?
If it's a high enough skill, you do get bonus. A backhand, I think you get maybe 2/10 bonus if you do it, or 1/10. But back walkover, you just meet the requirement with those skills.
So what we're talking about, the bonus, just so everybody knows, you have a skill set, if you want to call it that, and then if you do a certain skill, you get a bonus point, basically is what it is. So again, you have to do your series, and then whatever skills you do, you get bonuses for them. So when they do some of these skills, if they complete the skill but fall, they're going to get deducted a half a point, but they're going to get bonuses for completing the skill.
Yep, and there's requirements. So a leap is a requirement, a turn's a requirement, a series, but then you get that to a 9-2, and then a bonus is from there. So if you meet all your requirements, it equals a 9-2, and then you build up from there.
To get up to that 10 start value.
And I think Abby and Karina are probably around a 10 start value, maybe a 9, 10.
I know Abby's 10 because she said something about having to do a back round off dismount.
Yeah, I know she's
to
been
the
working
10, so she's maybe a 9-8.
Yeah.
This is Victoria competing on the balance beam. Again, it's one of those things with them spins, the full spin. Those got to be hard. You see a lot of people fall on that. I can't imagine trying to spin on that thing. And this is where the team comes into effect here. I mean, you gotta, when you're struggling like that and you have a couple falls, your teammates gotta pick you up, right? Like there, right now. She just did a great skill. They pick her up, keep her smiling, keep her focused, and, just gotta work harder in the gym. Again, that balance beam is 4 inches wide. So all you people at home, go get a tape measure, draw a line, 4 inches wide, and I want to see you guys do this jump right there. Split jump.
And 4 feet tall.
And 4 feet off the ground, too. I forget about that,
Yeah.
too. So it's not very easy.
That's one of the scariest parts.
Yeah, I'm sure. I have a love-hate relationship with the balance beam myself, and I don't even compete on it, but it's fun to watch when you get people that just nail it, man. It's like, wow. And then it's like when you see people falling, and it's like, I get it, because it's hard.
I think she's relieved to get off that beam.
She probably is. She did well. You know, I mean, she had some falls, but again, first time competing on a balance beam in a meet. And you can see, you know, her teams, they're picking her up, so that's good to see. And that's what teammates are all about. We got to have them.
And balance beam is one of the hardest to do because you're just shaking, especially when you're nervous. You just keep shaking, and you can't shake because it's only 4 inches to, wide. So.
Yep. And, you know, and I see the frustration in her. I get it. I understand it. You know, she's a competitor. I can just see it in her. She's only a freshman. But she wants to be there. She wants to be
And that's awesome.
to the top, which is great. I mean, I'll give her all the credit. And if I run into her afterwards, I'll encourage her.
Yeah, that builds great
after. It does. Again, Valley City has no seniors this year on the gymnastics team. Jossie, you, and Olivia Olsen were the only seniors last year. So we had a young team last year that did finish second in the state as a team. So that was good. I believe that's Valley City's team, the highest team that we've ever had finish at a state meet.
That's insane.
Again, I can go through the scores a little bit just to show you, you know, Dickinson, again, solid program, very well coached. They've been coached well over the past umpteen years. Came in at a 148.5. Valley City took second. Again, I like to call us well coached. Sometimes I agree with the coach, but I'll keep that off the air. Just kidding. We had a 145.75, so I mean, 2.5 tenths behind Dickinson. That would have been really tough to make up. And then Jamestown came in third with a 144.4. So again, we beat them by 1.3 points, and 1.3 points in gymnastics is a lot. So that would have been tough for them to come up. And Legacy High School came in at fourth with a 144.017. So they were close, you know, 3.5 tenths away from placing. Those were all the 140s. Everybody else was in a 134 or lower. So just some scores from last year's state meet. I believe again this year it's probably going to take, you know, you'd have to be pushing that 148 to have a chance at a state championship.
Yeah, Dickinson's looking really good this year, and they're building a young program.
They are. They got some very young gymnasts. I mean, I don't believe they have a senior on their squad this year either.
Nope.
Zoe Birk is ready to go. Zoe Birkey, she's a sophomore. Check that, she's a junior. So we do have a lot of juniors this year then, so.
And that's an example of a series right there, and perfectly connected, so she'll get the credit for that. Solid jumps series right there, and that's also bonus.
When I watch the balance beam, I just hope they don't fall.
I think they do too.
Right? Pretty sure that's everybody's goal, right? A few steps there, otherwise a pretty clean routine for Zoe. So Zoe Birkey right now is ranked number 20th in the state with her three scores that we're adding up are an 8.5, 8.375, and an 8.60.
She's been pretty good. I think they go out to 15 places at state.
Yep, I believe that's what it is.
She's getting close to that.
Yeah, so she'll have a chance to, place out there at state if she can nail a good routine.
Yeah, if she can hit that routine.
So just looking at this all-around standing, just to touch on this before our next person goes up. Honestly, Jossie, I'm looking at this, and in the top 30, there's 3 seniors. Three seniors in the top 30. So it just tells you, and gymnastics is a very hard sport to continue to do over and over and over. It's just hard on your body, and the older you get, the harder it's got to get.
Yeah.
So you look at, like, when you watch these Olympians and these high-level, athletes, that are 16 to 20 years old. I mean, just think of what they're doing to their bodies. So, yeah, Dickinson, you got Elizabeth, a 7th grader, Amy Fridley, a junior, Addison Fitter, a sophomore, Riley Olson, a sophomore, Aspen's an 8th grader. And you got Brooklyn Warner is an 8th grader. Anna Karosky, that's the twin to Elizabeth. She's another 7th grader. Brooke, 8th grader. So, I mean, they're young. I mean, they don't. Amy Fridley's the only junior.
It'll be
and the
so
rest of that, they're
competitive
sophomores.
next year.
I mean,
Yeah.
It's crazy. So, Jada Nelson is a junior here for us competing. Jada did gymnastics for a while when she was younger. Jada was a standout hockey player for Jamestown, because we co-op with Jamestown in the past. She hurt her shoulder, gave up the hockey scene, came back, started the year as the manager for the gymnastics team. And I think between Abby and Karina and some of the other ones talked her into competing, and now she's competing balance beam and floor.
Yeah, we're glad to have her. Very solid beam routine here. Really cool series. It's a front walk over. You don't see that often. Clean
Nice
jump
jumps,
series.
yes.
And this is her dismount. Very nice.
Very nice.
I think she just learned that skill a few days ago.
I think so. It's a new one that she put in. Zoe Bierke's score came in at an 8.6. Very solid score for Zoe. Again, Zoe was 20th with an average of 8.492. So we're going to throw out an 8.375 and put an 8.6. So that'll help move her up higher in the top. Get her into hopefully the top 15. She can nail it at state and place. So again, that was Jada Nelson. Her first event competing tonight, as she only does the beam and the floor. This is Grace Undum. She's warming up. She is 35th in the state right now. So again, as we talked about with Maddie, we got one that's towards the bottom that got to get some of these scores and move up and just, keep them in that top 40 so we can have more kids competing in every event.
And it also helps if you have more individuals from your team at state and able to compete. Like, say, you get 2 minutes per person and then you all warm up together at the beginning. So if there's only 3 people competing, you only get 6 minutes as a team to warm up all your skills.
Right.
That's not a lot of time. But if you have like 4 or 5 or 6, you have a lot more time to warm up, and it's a lot less hectic and way less pressure.
Yeah, so we want to see, and I think we can get, 5. Let's get 5 out there so we get that 10 minutes.
And that would be really nice.
Really huge. Which I think we can do it. I think Maddie's gonna. I'm gonna go out of my way and say that Maddie will be in the top 30 by the end of the year. So she's gonna have to do some things here in the next few meets to move up. But what did I say? She was like 38th, and
Yeah.
Zoe's in like 37th. They're neck and neck right there. So both of them again. Zoe just improved there 0.3. So hopefully we can move her up because it's a tight race there. I mean, when you look at these scores, 30th right now is a 33-1. And Zoe's averaging a 32.5, and actually Maddie and Zoe are actually tied. They're both averaging a 32.508, so they're actually tied. So,
And Maddie's up on beam. Yeah, both of them are going to be really close, and that would be great to see both of them competing all around at state. Nice series from Maddie. Nice full turn. Her leap series had a little bit of a bobble on both skills. Won't get the connection, but will count the skills and maybe some bonus for the individual skills. She got her aerial. That's huge. That is her flight element, which is a requirement, and probably bonus. Aerial is a tough skill to do.
It is. I saw her on some of the Highlander stuff they post having her at practice doing it, so that was good to see.
I saw that too.
Nice to see that she's going to smile after this one. Just stick her out and stick the landing here.
Here's the dismount.
Perfect.
Solid routine.
Very good. Again, you know, Maddie is. Did I find out where she was on beam? Was she up there? How many meets left?
Yeah.
That's where, you know, those 2 meets, we've had 2 meets canceled. That kind of hurts, right?
It does hurt. Especially if you're a little bit lower in the all-around or just super close. Missing out on 2 meets, especially a home meet.
Yep, you are correct there. So up next will be Zoe on the, no, not Zoe, Grace. Sorry, Zoe already went. Grace is 35th, so 8350, 8050, and an 8525. So we're going to try to PR today.
Maddie's score is an 8.425.
8425, so that's a good score for Maddie.
I think that's on the higher end of what she usually gets.
I believe so. So that'll be nice, and we'll get her moved up, get a couple more of those, and we'll get her moved up.
Great series by Grace. Super solid, barely any wobble there.
Again, all these scores are unofficial as we announce them. We'll get the total afterwards.
Stepped off the beam there, just a little bit short on that jump series. So she will not get the bonus for that, but will get the skills. Well, it will be able to count as skills. So you need to have, I think, it's 8 skills in a beam routine. Solid dismount for Grace. Pretty good routine for her. A fall would be 5/10 off, and she won't get the bonus, so she'll start a little bit lower than she usually does.
Yeah, you know, Grace is one of those, I mean, she has come, and I say it over and over, but she has come so far in her gymnastics career, just doing wonderful things and just getting better every meet. So I can see her, you know, he can sneak into the top 15 at the state meet. I really believe it.
Let's head over to the floor. This is a super fun routine by Quinn Bastingway. The judges love it, and the audience does as well. Super exhausting to have this upbeat of a routine, but she does it somehow.
And she seems like she's full of energy all the time, so.
We'll head back over to beam, and Karina is warming up. Abby Thornton will compete next.
So again, they get that 30 seconds, which, like you said, it goes fast.
And who really know who's actually timing right now, but at state,
It's timed by somebody that's...
yeah, they're looking at you the whole time. And
right now, I think they just kind of leave it up to the coaches,
Yeah.
and I mean, it's just kind of the honor system here. But I'm sure at EDC and at state, it's timed by somebody
Yeah.
that we don't even know.
they
so,
don't let you on a second later.
Yeah. Yeah. So beam last year, let's talk about that a little bit, Jossie. I know you hate it.
Yeah.
You know, you got a love-hate relationship with the beam, but beam, Zoe Prince from Legacy, she won the beam last year with a 9.5. Brooklyn de Guzman, that's a name that we should be talking about this year as well. She ended up not coming out for gymnastics this year. I believe she would have been a senior. To go all that way and just not come out your senior year, that's got to be something. So I don't know if she got injured or what, but she's not in there.
Looks like Abby's competing right now, actually. Sorry to interrupt.
I better watch.
Nice series there, connected. She'll get the credit and bonus for that.
Abby's come a long way in her beam routines from the past years. This is by far the event that she dislikes the most.
And just even her dance, it's so much more sharp and clean. Such an improvement from last year, and great leap series there.
Yeah, you'd think we got her into some dancing school, but we really never did. She just got it on her own. Very determined kid, puts in the time, puts in the work.
This is a great beam routine so far. And I think she's going for her dismount now. This is also a very unique dismount here. It's called a gainer pike. One step on the landing, great routine.
Nice solid routine again. Abby's had some pretty good routines this year. She is 7th in the beam right now. So back to the beam from state last year, Jossie. As much as you didn't like your beam routine, you still finished in the top 10 on the beam.
I was surprised.
Yeah, so that's still an accomplishment. You know, Abby finished 8th, which she had a great beam routine last year. She struggled on the beam all year.
What'd she score?
A 9.017.
That is great.
So, you know, for you and her last year to get a 9 was like a wow, right?
It was. And to get a 9 at state,
Yep.
that's huge.
But to be in the top 10 again in an individual event, great. I mean, you look at some of these names up here. I mean, with Zoe Prince, great gymnast. Brooklyn de Guzman, great gymnast. Amy Fridley, Riley Olson from Dickinson, Emma Hillerud from Jamestown, Haley Nelson. You know, she had a fall, which, man, was she mad about that. But so I believe Grace's score came in at 8.375. So Grace, that will be, we'll throw out an 8.050, so that's good. So that'll move up a little bit. So Abby Thornton just competed. Karina Olson, yet to compete for Valley City. Karina is, let me find this. I believe she is in 3rd right now, rankings on the beam. Karina's very good on the beam. I just love watching her leaps and jumps. She's amazing on the beam. She does an aerial as well, I believe, on the beam. Off her dismount. I mean, it's, yeah. She does have the high score in the year to 9.8.
An insane score. I think she got that at the blue and white invite
I
here
believe so.
a few weeks ago.
So,
hopefully we can repeat it again.
yeah, and again, you know, the downfall for Valley City having only 3, you're using all your scores, right? So she does have an 8.8 in here as well. So once we throw that 8.8 out, I mean, she's probably going to move up ahead of both of these people that are ahead of her. Addison Fiddler, who's number 1 right now, a sophomore at Dickinson.
And an 8.8 is still a great score,
It
but
is.
Karina, like,
Not for Karina.
no, she usually gets 9s even with the fall. So
Right.
we'll see what this says.
Here's
and,
Karina.
Oh, and Abby scores a 9-3. Oh, no. What is it? A 9-1.
9-1.
Great score for Abby Thornton. Oh. And Karina had a fall on her series.
So while she's talking to Coach Abby Brown, that is actually Abby's worst score of the year on balance beam, believe it or not. And a 9.1 is really good.
That is really good.
So, I mean, she's got a 9.2.
Wow.
Let me look here again. I just looked at it. 9.2, 9.175, and a 9.150. So her fourth 9.1. So she won't improve her average on that. But it's still a good, solid routine.
She's up there anyway, so.
Oh, yeah.
Nice and consistent.
So do you get a certain amount of time after a fall before you have to get back on the beam?
I have no idea, but I'm assuming, I think it is 30 seconds.
Okay.
But no one's timing anyway.
Right.
But
Especially at this meet. I mean,
Yeah.
you get to state, they probably are, but
yeah,
I was just curious on that, how long you actually get.
I think it is 30 seconds. Perfect leaps there. So much height on such a small beam.
Yeah, you guys go try jumping on a 4-inch, 4-foot high board, spread your legs like an eagle, and then landing it.
Right?
Good luck.
Yeah, her leaps are gorgeous on beam. And now this is dismount everyone loves.
So that aerial, yeah.
Huge. That is also a college
sucker.
dismount, and that's a great finish to that routine.
Yeah. Karina's just, I mean, her beam is just so pretty to watch, and she's by far my favorite event to watch her on because she's so good at it.
And I'm sure she'll score well anyway with that fall because everything else was almost perfect.
Right? She'll be up in the lower nines with that with the fall, so it's great to see. I mean, she's got a beautiful routine, a beautiful beam routine. If she can hit it at the state meet again, we've talked about this. All of them top 5 kids, if they hit that day, I mean, they got the potential to be a state champion. So Valley City will go to floor, be their final event. And you talk about these two gymnasts, Abby Thornton and Karina Olsen. I mean, they're both two very good gymnasts, but now I want to talk about some of these other ones. I look at like a Grace Undum right now. She has scored some 9s in the past, which we need to get her back up today. She might be having a little off meet today, but got to get her back up in the 9s. But Maddie Wendell, I mean, I didn't catch her. Well, I do have her beam score. What was it? 8.425. So she's had all 8s, right? I don't remember the last time Maddie's had all 8s in a meet.
Yeah, that's solid.
So I mean, if she can nail her floor routine and get up in that, that 8th, she's going to have one of her better all-around scores. And we talked about that. She was sitting in that 38, 37 spot, and if she can improve there, she's going to bump up. And like I said, you guys can mark my words, she's going to be in the all-around at the state meet. And if I'm wrong, well, then I'm just wrong. I was going to say I'd buy y'all a pop, but I don't know how many people we have listening, so. We're still waiting for Karina's score. Wapton's finishing up on the vault. So what is it on the floor you get? How long do you get? 30 seconds?
Yep, but usually...
So is that 30 seconds per athlete
Yep.
again? And you usually warm up with 3.
3 or, well, yeah. Well, I guess we only have about 5 people probably competing
Right.
today, so about 2 or 3 will compete or will warm up at a time. So a minute and a half to warm up all your skills on the floor. It gets tiring.
Right, and I mean, again, though, the importance of getting as many kids qualified at state as you can for team, because you get that for team, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah.
So individually, when they break them out, and that's the other hard thing as a coach now, at state, they break them up. You don't compete with your team. They spread you out throughout, so you might have Abby on bars, Karina on beam, Zoe on floor, Maddie on vault, all going at the same time. And if you're a coach, you can't be in 4 spots at once. So it's nice to have, a few people like our assistant coaches, Courtney Mack and Abby Brown there, so they can help out. I remember last year, I think Abby was going on beam, and she was just frustrated because there was no coach over there at the time, and Maddie was on vault, which she needed Johnny because that's important. And so, I mean, it is a big deal to have enough coaches, too.
It's nice to have 3 coaches at the state meet because it gets super hectic and multiple people can be competing at one time, and it's just nice to have some extra hands.
So Karina's score came in at an 8.825. Again, she did have that fall, so that's a half a point right there. I'm actually, again, I'm shocked because I thought it would be higher than that still because everything else was really nice.
I don't think she got her series requirement, so that's about 2/10. So.
Okay, so she gets 7/10 off. So I mean, that's it's still a quality score. Not where Karina wants to be, we know that. Not where Karina can be, we know that. So. So just for the record, it just came in from the studio producer, and we had over 1,000 views on our last gymnastics meet on the stream, so that is awesome. So that was with Paul, and I believe you, Jossie, right? Paul McDonald did that one along with you.
And then I think Olivia did the second one.
And then Olivia did the second one.
So I'm not sure which one.
Not sure which one it is, but I'm going to go out on a whim and say that Jossie and I, we're going to get to 12. We're going to go to 1,200. So we're going to beat them. I'm not competitive at all. We can't see how many of you out there are live, so we don't know who's watching the stream live, but again, you can go find it on the web, the highliner.org page, and it'll be there forever, the way I understand it, because these are recorded, they're streamed, and they're out there forever. So Lanaya will be going on the floor.
Great save by Lanaya. She just slid right into a forward roll right there. So it does not count as a fall. Looked at her teammates in the middle of that skill. Talent. Good jump series. And here's her third tumbling pass.
So I believe this is the second time Lanaya has competed on the floor. I know she competed in Jamestown, I believe it was, on the floor. I think Elizabeth and her competed the floor over there, so this will be the second time for them competing on that event. So again, on the floor, you had a few of the athletes warm up, and then I believe two will compete, and then they'll warm up again, some of the other ones in between before that third one competes.
Let's head over to vault, because I think it'll take a while until the next girl is up on floor. And this is Wapaton on vault. Fargo Davies is on beam. And I think the other Fargo just finished up on bars.
Again, you get 2 attempts on the vault, so if you don't do so good on the first one, you get another one. If you do good on the first one, don't do good on the second one, well, so be it.
Looks like Elizabeth is up on floor now. Looks like there's problems with the music.
And some technical difficulties. We'll get it figured out shortly for you. now it looks like they got it taken care of, and she's going to do her routine.
Sort of taken care of. There we go.
I believe this is the second time Elizabeth has done the floor. I believe in Jamestown she did it. This is the last rotation of the night.
A little bit of a bobble between those two skills, so she won't get the connection for that tumbling pass. Here's her last tumbling pass. A little bit of a bobble, but great finish. We're going to head over to vault because I think Quinn Bassingwade is competing as Souk. This is her senior year, so great to see a flipping vault from her. I think she landed the first one. Everyone was cheering, but we'll see if she can do it again. Opened up a little too early in the air, but I think she did her first one, so I think she's okay with that.
Again, you know, great to see a flipping vault out of her. I mean, I remember 3-4 years ago, we didn't see many people flip, period. I mean, when you saw somebody that did a flipping vault, it was a big deal. And
especially
now
in EDC.
Right, especially in EDC. I mean, you get away from Dickinson and Jamestown and get EDC, it was like, dang, I mean, I think at one point maybe you were the only one that flipped because Abby didn't flip right away last year either.
Yeah, like max at 1 or 2 people flip per meet.
So, I mean, I know out west you got Dickinson, they have a lot more that flip, and Jamestown has a few that flip, but even them, they, I mean, have stepped up. There's a lot more flipping now, so I don't know if the athletes are just bigger, faster, stronger because they lift more or work out more. I don't believe that, but maybe. So
it's also encouraging to see other athletes flipping, and you want to match their skills.
Right, when you see that, then you're like, I want to be like her, right?
Let's move over to the floor where Victoria is competing.
Let's hope Victoria can end on a strong note and have a good floor routine. She's had a rough day, but very encouraging to see her out there competing. It's great. She's going to be good.
I don't think that's exactly the tumbling pass she wanted there. Hopefully she has a stronger second pass.
You can just see it in her face that she's frustrated, but just work through it and get back to the gym on Monday and start working hard. And like I said before, she's just going to need her teammates here to pull her through this and encourage her to stick with it. I hope she does.
And now she knows exactly what to work on Monday, and hopefully she will do that. And come out stronger at the meet on Friday.
Forget to present, but that's okay. I mean, she's very frustrated. Valley City's next competition will be Friday up in Minot. So I'm hoping that we get to see Dickinson again at that meet. I'm not sure who's going to be there, but hopefully we get to see Dickinson one more time that meet, because when Dickinson came to Valley City, Amy Fridley did not compete all 4 events, and it'd be nice to see her do that. So last year, state meet, floor. We had Olivia Olson, top for Valley City with a 9.5, placed 4th. Jossie was 2nd with a 9.433. And I believe Abby was in 14th with a 9.30. And Karina was in 17th with a 9.183. Again, that just goes to show you, I mean, you look at Abby plays 14th on an event and still finished third all around. So just the consistency for all them scores, it's important. So I know you were probably a little disappointed with your 9.433 because I think you were better than that. So, but it happens.
Yeah, and it's a state meet. There's four maybe judges,
Yep,
and so scores are going to be a little bit lower.
Yep, I believe there are 3, isn't there?
Oh yeah, maybe.
I think it's 3. And then they
Oh, yeah.
throw one out, then it's kind of confusing how they do it, but they have 3 judges, I believe, per event at the state meet. And I think what they do is they throw the lowest score out, and then they take the 2 and then meet in the middle.
Okay.
I believe. I could be wrong.
I don't even know.
Yeah, we'll have to verify that with somebody. But again, last year, you look at this, I mean, Avery Fridley, 3 of the 4 events, she won the floor, she won the bars, she won the vault, and got 3rd in the beam. Zoe Prince won the beam. So Zoe Bierke will be on the floor.
Solid jumps for Zoe. That's a lot of bonus there because she doesn't have as much bonuses in her tumbling, so she uses it, gets it through dance. Her second pass, super fun pass and very clean. And if you notice, she took 1 step on the landing on that, but it's a controlled step, so she does not get a deduction for that. If it's uncontrolled in multiple steps, it's about 1 to 2 tenths each step. And there's another controlled step, so no deduction there. Great finish for Zoe.
Zoe Bierke needs to, throw out a few of her lower scores. She's right now in 44th. So again, just looking on the outside, looking in, she's got an 8.7, an 8.7, and an 8.25. So if we can throw out that 8.25, we should get her up in the top 40. Currently, Jada Nelson, who hasn't competed yet today, has an 8.75 average. She only has 1 score in here, but they do have her in 33rd. I think you need 3 scores to qualify, though.
All right,
so
yep.
She will get there. She's only done it once. Grace Undum, she's in 16th, averaging a 9.050. Karina Olsen's in 6th, averaging a 9.383. And then Abby is in 4th, averaging a 9.4. So, yet to compete, we'll have Jada, Grace, Maddie, Abby, and Karina. So a few more to go. Well, again, these scores are all unofficial. We'll get you guys the totals at the end of the meet. We'll also try to catch Coach Tobler for a quick interview afterwards. See how he feels the meet has went. Again, Valley City's been off for 2 weeks, haven't competed, so good to see him back in the gym. Again, last week they were supposed to be in Mandan, and they got out there, they went, they drove through the treacherous snow, ice. The judges tried, they didn't make it, they went in the ditch. Glad they're all safe, but they didn't have the meet, so we all came home. So it was a long travel to practice.
Yeah, looks like Zoe scored an 8.75.
Very good for Zoe.
That will bump her up a lot.
That will. If I look at that, I mean, now she's going to have an 8.7, an 8.7, an 8.75. So she's going to average over an 8.7. That's going to move her all the way up in the top 35. So that's a good score.
If she can have one more like that, she'll be safe.
Yep.
Maddie Wendell is up.
You need to have a solid routine out of Maddie. She's had a great meet today so far.
Great pass by Maddie. You could tell Johnny was there for some moral support. She was a little nervous.
You can just see the confidence build in her as the meet's gone on with her scores and the way she's done. And I mean, her confidence is just going up and up. And if she can nail this at the end, have a solid score for an all-around, that confidence is going to be huge.
Yeah, nailing her vault really helped. Great start to the meet. And an awesome front tuck right there. Looks like she's having a lot of fun in her routine, and her teammates are cheering her on.
And that, to me, is important. I think, I believe, and I'm a believer that the judges see that. I always give them a bad time when they're not smiling and whatnot. So I believe that when they're out there having fun, smiling, and I know Abby's told me, and I'm sure you have. I mean, I know Abby winked at the judge one time, so they're kind of trying to get some bonus points.
Good save for her last pass, a little wonky. She did not fall, though.
She's just got that pep in her step. Nice routine again. That's going to be
great finish.
Great finish for Maddie, a great meet. What we needed out of Maddie, we needed that. Now, keep that confidence up, work hard in the gym, and I mean, like I said before, mark my words, that kid's going to be in the top 30. She will be competing in the all-around at the state meet.
If this can score above an 8, she'll have all 8s, I believe.
Yep.
And a little, maybe a high 34.
Yep. We'll get, right now
exactly
she's at a 25, so if she gets an 8, she'll be up there, so it'll be good. Again, I didn't print it off far enough to see where she's at in the race to get to that top 40, but I believe if she can finish the year off with the routine that the meet day that she just had consistently through the rest of them, she'll be in the top 30. And again, important, so we can get more warm-up time, right?
Right.
Zoe Bierke ended the day with a 32.375, and again, unofficial, but I think we're probably pretty accurate. I think most of the scores never really changed much. Again, Valley City will be up in Minot next Friday, competing in I don't even know what it's called, the Minot Magic Invite or something like that. So it'd be good to see Minot. We haven't seen Minot this year. I believe they were supposed to be in Mandan last week when we were there, so it'd have been good to see them. I've heard some good things out of their gym that are positive, that are going in the right direction. They were solid years ago, and then they just kind of had some filters, some issues, and I think their gym's going in the right direction again.
And then February 12th, they are in Grand Forks, I believe. And then the next weekend is EDC in Wahpeton.
So they have 2 more meets after today before EDC. EDC's in Wahpeton. State is in Dickinson. And that is the last weekend in February, 25th and 26th, I believe. And then from there, it's the off season. Abby will Abby will be going on to USAG. Karina's thinking about it, from what I understand. There's a possibility Karina will join her. Karina is also an outstanding track athlete for Valley City. She's pretty fast. She was on your relay team last year that qualified for state, right?
Yep.
So the other Olivia was on the team, and Katie Koga?
Yep.
Yeah, see, I follow Highlanders some.
And Maddie Wendell was an alternate.
And Maddie was an alternate. There you go. It's all these gymnasts bringing her home. Katie Koka is a very good gymnast, too. I wish we could have got her back in the gym. She came some and decided just not to do high school. We're trying to talk her into it. She would have been a good addition if we could have talked her into it.
I think they're still trying.
Yeah, well, there's still time for it. So not this year probably, but she's young. I think she's an 8th grader.
Yep.
So, and she's very talented. She would help out as well. Jada Nelson, again, she's competed the floor 1 time. for us. Got an 8.750. Very good athlete, very talented, and here she is on the floor.
Her first pass is beautiful. A front layout full. With one step on the landing. Might be a small deduction. Maddie Wendell with an 8.225, exactly what we were looking for.
Get you her all-around score here after Jada was done.
She needs above a 32, I think, to drop a score. Last pass for Jada Nelson. A beautiful front layout. Great ending to her meet. That should score pretty well.
Nice solid routine by Jada. Again, back to the Maddie Wendell story. She's definitely going to improve. Her three scores right now that we have in there are 31.825, a 31.675, and a 34.025. She didn't quite crack the 34 mark, but a 33.45. So, I mean, you're taking 2 points and getting rid of, them, or adding 2 points to improve. So she's going to be, I think just with today's meet, she might be pushing that 30 mark, because 30 mark is a 33.350. So she's not going to quite get there, but she's going to push it. So, I mean, now what Maddie needs to do is she needs to take this confidence from today's meet and build, right? Yep. So we need to get Maddie up to that 35 mark. I mean, she's got 2 more meets, and then EDC, and then state. And, if we can get her to that 30, high 34, 35 mark, that's great. She can do it.
Karina Olsen and Abby Thornton are warming up for our floor right now.
I believe Grace will be next. And then those last two. And Jade has just come, for joining the gym again, being away so many years. She's just a great athlete and, picked it up fast again. She's one of those that just picks up things fast. We'll see what her score comes in at. So Maddie Wendell just came by, great meet. You can just see the smile on her face. She had a great meet, and she told us, if you don't, as Grace is going, I'll just fill you in on the story a little bit. Kind of cool. She said, if you don't fall through the whole meet, you get a Yeti cup. So I'm guessing Coach Tobler buys Yeti cups if they don't fall. Yeah. I'm guessing I didn't see a fall from Maddie.
No,
so
she didn't fall. She's pretty excited.
Maddie's getting a Yeti cup, so that is very cool. Again, she just needs to build on this confidence. I mean, she got the confidence now. She needs to maintain it and just improve on it.
Jada scored an 8.9. That is a great score for her and the team.
It's a score we need.
It is. And this is a really cool pass by Grace Unum that she's about to do. Upgrade from last year. A tough upgrade, too. It might not look hard, but it is hard. She decided not to do it, but she did a front tuck out of that in the warm-up. Hopefully we see that at EDC and State.
Yeah, I know. I've seen her doing it in practice, so I'm guessing she's preparing for it for the end of the year. Grace has just come, again, we say it all the time, but come so far. She's such a good gymnast now.
Great for a team that should score very well.
Grace is 16th in the state right now. Her three scores that she's tallied are a 9.2, an 8.9, and a 9.050. So I'm guessing we're going to throw that 8 out the window and add a 9 to her average. So that should move her up again. They take place out to the top 15 at the state meet. Looking to have quite a few kids placing in the top 15 in every event this year. So when we are done here, if you guys want to continue to support Highlander Athletics, I believe the basketball is being streamed as well at home. I'm sure Davies is streaming the game in Davies. So you can tune in to one of them games if you would like. Again, after the meet's over, we'll get the official scores. We'll try to catch up with Coach Tobler. We'll probably pick, I'm going to pick Maddie Wendell, probably for a short, maybe an interview, as great of a meet as she had. So we'll catch up with Maddie Wendell. And see what she, talks about, how excited she is. And
I think she's just really excited about that Yeti Cup.
Hey, if that's, as a coach, if that's what it takes,
Right.
we'll have to ask Johnny about that when he comes up for his little. But if that's what it takes to buy a Yeti Cup to get you to perform, I guess it is what it is, right?
Abby Thornton on the floor. And Grace Undum scored a 9.2. Great score. Nice first pass from Abby.
Her jumps and leaps have gotten a lot better from last year as well.
I
so
agree.
I don't know what she did, some off-season training, hopefully, and made the difference.
They're a lot more clean and are hitting 180, and that
They
second
are.
pass was great.
Her leg did come apart in the air, though. I saw that, so I'm sure she'll get inducted for that a little bit.
Shouldn't be much, only a small step on the landing, but it was pretty controlled.
And her dancing, just everything on her floor routine has improved this year.
She's actually smiling.
Yeah. I just think that goes a long way with the judges. There she kind of gave a little smirk at the
Yeah.
judges, right?
And then here she's going for her final pass.
Ooh, a little short landing.
A little bit of stumble, but solid routine otherwise, and a fun little ending to her routine.
She added that new.
Yeah, she's super excited
Pretty
about it.
solid routine. Not her best probably, but really solid. Should be a good score. Grace Undum, 9.2 on the floor, 34.325 all around. Sitting in 22nd. Her all-around scores right now are a 33.4, a 33.325, and a 34.525. So we're going to throw out a 33 and get that 34 in there. So another improvement. She should move into the top 20, hopefully, with that score.
And that also gives you a lot of confidence knowing that you're in the top 20 at the state meet.
Right, and then you just need to squeak into that top 15,
Yeah.
right, to place. So you can
Easy
get,
enough.
Yeah, just that easy, right? But, if you're on that day, that'd be great. And, if we can get 3 or 4 in the top 15, that'd be huge.
That would be.
We're going to try to go back-to-back years with 2 in the top 5. That would be an accomplishment. Like you said,
Very
last year,
achievable.
we had 2 in the top 5, probably the first time ever in Highlander Gymnastics. So if we can do it back-to-back years, that'd be stellar.
I think Johnny would be very happy with that.
Yeah. I think he got robbed last year, Coach of the Year. I think he should have got it, but
Hopefully
didn't even get
this
it in the EDC, did he?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. So we'll see. Maybe he'll get it this year.
He deserves it.
He does. You look at even, all these gymnasts that we're keeping out. We've got good numbers, 10 athletes. Karina Olsen on the floor.
Starting out with a leap. This is one of Karina's best events, and I'm saying best, and she scores a 9.8 on beam.
Right.
She has so much fun on this event.
Yeah.
A 9.5 for Abby Thornton.
Nice.
Great pass for Karina, stuck landing on a 1.5. Didn't even need that step. Karina's second pass here. A little short, but she pulled through and got it landed. This is a solid routine so far.
Yeah, and her leaps and jumps they just are so pretty. I love that little move in there. Let's raise the roof. Let's get up. She's got a little slower paced music, though. I'd like to see her get a little pep in it because she's such a good dancer. But
I agree.
very solid routine. Abby came in at a 9.5 on her floor. I believe, let me just look here. Abby was in fourth with a 9.45, a 9.5, and a 9.25. So we're going to throw that 9.25 out. Should move her into the top 3, I believe. So very solid, very nice. Her 37.6 all-around score is her highest of the year.
That's huge.
I believe. She has a 37.150, 36.975, and a 36.95. So we're going to throw that out. Should move her into the top. That's going to probably move her up over Haley, I believe it will. Might even get her into the second. So solid day for Abby Thornton. We'll wait for Karina's score. Should be a nice one as well. We're going to try to catch Maddie Wendell, Coach Tobler, as they tally up the scores. We'll try to keep you entertained because sometimes it can take a little while. Again, right now we got Abby Thornton with a 37.6. Karina, we're waiting on her score to give her final. 34.325 for Grace. Zoe, 32.375. And Maddie Wendell with a 33.45.
Karina's average is only a 9.3, so this should bump her up a lot. And I think it is a 9.7.
Is that what we're seeing, I believe?
Yeah, so she'll get rid of 9.2 and probably bump her up kind of a lot. She has one of the highest scores in the state with that score. The highest score.
9.2, 9.4, 9.55. Yeah, that'll bump her up quite a ways.
That was a solid routine.
Yeah, very nice. Like
Exactly
I
what
said,
she needed.
You know, she is a very good, her leaps and everything are very good. Brings her to a 36.15 all around. Not her best day, but still a solid score, solid day. You know, all in all, Jossie, today, I mean, I would think, you know, Abby's got to be very happy with her 37.6. That's a very high score. She's not going to be 100% satisfied because she wants a 38 bigger than life. Can she do it? I believe it. She believes it. I'm sure you believe it.
We all believe
Coach
it,
Tobler
100%.
believes it. Karina, I know she can get up there, get that 38 too. Improve. I'll get the team total score because that's kind of tricky. You take the top 4 in each event. It's not like you just add up the all-arounds. So we got Maddie Wendell coming over. We're going to do a quick, short little interview with Maddie as she had a great meet. So Maddie is just getting the headset on here, and we'll ask Maddie a few questions. And, you know, all right, thanks for joining us, Maddie.
Yeah.
Great meet today.
Thank you.
How do you feel out there?
It was pretty good. Flipping my vault was pretty big. I pulled that. Haven't done that since state last year onto a mat, so that was pretty big.
Right, so that's the first time you flipped since state last year. That's awesome. Continue to look forward to continuing to watch you flip. I just love watching you flip. The energy you bring to a gymnastics meet, to me, is just phenomenal. I mean, like today, you had a 33.445. You had all 8s. You didn't fall on anything.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about this Yeti Cup.
Okay, so Abby has a deal with us all for our first one. For our first time sticking every event, we get a little Yeti cup. So that was my biggest goal today, just so I could get it.
That's awesome. Well, it was great to see you, out there competing with a smile.
Yeah.
We know you get frustrated from time to time, but you had a great all-around meet. What do you see, and what do you want to continue to improve on, before you get to the EDC and state meet?
I'd like to improve, especially on my tumbling. I think I could get up in that, and then my beam a little bit. It's a little rough, but I could use a lot of improvement there.
Hey, it was an improvement. Right now you were coming into the day in 37th rank overall in the state. You got to get in the top 30, compete all around. I went out of the way and I said, Maddie Wendell will be in the top 30 and competing at the state meet in the all around. So do me a favor, don't let me down.
Well, I won't.
Great meet today, and we look forward to watching you in Minot next Friday and then the rest of the year.
Thank you.
All right, good job today.
Thank you.
We will find Coach Tobler. As soon as we can get him over here, we'll get the official results from the scorers, let you know what those are. Tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, you can check into the Go channel and watch the robotics team. The robotics team in Valley City has done wonderful things. Really placed high at some state meets. I believe they've won some state meets. I could be wrong, but 4-time state champs I'm just hearing. So 4-time world qualifier. That's amazing. So you can check that out on the Go channel tomorrow at 9 o'clock. If you haven't watched the robotics, it's pretty cool to watch. I've watched a little bit of it, not a lot of it, but what they do and how they do it, I mean, it takes some talent to do what they do. So check that out at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning on the Go channel. The robotics team will be on. We're just going to catch Johnny Tobler here before the awards. We'll get the final numbers to make sure we're accurate on what we've given you, but some peaks today, some great things. Abby Thornton, 37.6 all around, great meet. Karina, 9.7 on the floor. Some other good scores by her, not her best, but she'll get back there. So that 9.7, beautiful floor routine. Grace Undum improved her all around, 34.325. Zoe Bierke improved hers with a 32.375. Maddie, again, who we just spoke with, 33.45. So we're just waiting for Coach Tobler to finish up a conversation, and we'll catch him to talk to him a little bit about the upcoming meets, this meet, not competing for a while. So we'll be with you here shortly. Again, basketball should be started, so as soon as we're done, you can tune over that. I want to thank Derek Baer for doing the video with us today. It's greatly appreciated. He's very good at what he does. He knows what he's doing, and it's pretty awesome. So again, we'll catch Johnny Tobler here shortly. He's just finishing up a conversation. Looks like Jossie brought some official results. So again, we'll start off on the vault. Thorn the 9.55. Karina, 8.625. Maddie Wendell, 8.525. Grace Under, 8.45. I'll round out Valley Cities. Bars, Abby Thornton, 9.45. Karina, 9 even. Grace Undum, 8.3 even. Maddie Wendell, 8.225. Zoe Bierke, 7.125. Beam, Abby, 9.1. Karina, 8.825. Jada, 8.625. Zoe Bierke, 8.6. Maddie Wendell, 8.425. Grace Undum, 8.375. Floor, Karina with that beautiful 9.7. Abby Thornton with a nice 9.5. Grace Undum with a 9.2. Jada Nelson with an 8.9. Zoe Bierke with an 8.75. And Maddie Wendell had an 8.125. All around, Abby was a 37.6. Karina was a 36.15. Grace was a 34.325. Maddie Wendell with a 33.3. Okay, I was off a little bit there somewhere. Zoe Bierke, a 32.375. So some good all-around scores. Team totals, I believe Valley City has their highest team score. of the year. Let me just find that before I say anything. So far we had a 141.15 was our highest. Valley City came in with a 142.575. Very solid. I still think there's a little room for improvement. So Wapton came in second with a 127.7, Fargo Davies a 121.5, and then Fargo, obviously they don't have a full roster, so 63. Those are the team totals, but a 142.575 Jossie, highest of the year so far. I mean, good meet all around. Obviously, we still left some points on the table. Green didn't have her best, and so. Yeah. Yes, I mean, that 9.7 and 9.5, I mean, like you said, 4 girls, 2.7 off, that's just phenomenal. I did. I heard the Yeti story. So it's actually the assistant coach, Abby Brown, who gives the Yeti Cup for if they hit on every event. So she was ecstatic about it, excited, but, at the same time, she knows that there's still room for an improvement there. And we both know that she can get into that 34 mark for sure. And if we can do that and Abby and Karina get up there, we're going to have a chance. I mean, if we can all hit at the same time on the same day, we're going to be right there. So here we'll catch Johnny Tobler here real quick for an interview. And then we'll call her a night. Coach Tobler, thank you for joining us.
Can you hear me?
I can.
All right.
Thanks for joining us.
You bet.
So, after having 2 weeks off, not competing, I mean, pretty solid day for Valley City all around. I mean, as a team, what do you think of the meet today for Valley City?
Yeah, good. I'm really happy with how we did. You mentioned that, a couple of weeks off, and when you miss those meets and have that big gap, you tend to kind of slow down a little bit. You get out of rhythm, if you will. And so to come out here and perform and do what we did was exciting. Very happy. Lot to work on going forward, but very happy with how they did, and we're excited for Minot.
So first I want to hit on Maddie Wendell a little bit. I mean, awesome day for her.
Yeah.
Came out with a 33.3 all around, much improved for her.
Yeah.
I mean, not her best. We know she's got room to improve, but solid performance. Didn't fall on anything, hit on everything for the most part. Just what's Maddie? What's her work ethic like in the gym? Just tell me a little bit about Maddie.
Yeah, for sure. Maddie's work ethic is awesome. Maddie, last year when I first came into this year, she struggled mentally a lot. That's part of gymnastics. Is some athletes, get these mental blocks, and we've done a fantastic job, both her and I, of working together and getting over some of those things. And she's, you saw in vault, she did her Souk today. That's big. That's huge for her. That's a big confidence booster, and that gives her all sorts of confidence on every other event. And, she just kind of took that and carried that into the other 3 events. She's got some work to do, and she's got some skills that we've worked on that she needs to put in her routines, and she knows that. So, we had high goals at the beginning of the season. We're still looking at getting to those, but this is a good starting point for Maddie. This is good, really good for her to build off of, and I hope to see her, in practice on Monday, excited to build off that.
Yeah, and I went out on a whim with her. She was meet today ranked like 37th, and you have to be in the top 30 to compete all around state. So I call it. She's going to be in.
Yeah.
I know with her work ethic and your ability to get her there, she'll be in.
Yeah, that'll be really exciting.
That'll
for her.
be awesome.
Yep.
Touch on a couple other points here. Karina Olsen, 9.7 on the floor. Great routine, beautiful routine. Not her best day in the gym overall, but still scored over a 36. And, that floor routine was awesome.
Yeah, awesome. We had 2 falls, that we are obviously uncharacteristic. That's a bummer to see that. But she knows, and she went away with a good, positive attitude, and that's what I love to see, It was a bummer on bars. We had one of her best routines going together, and she does something, goofy, hits her feet on the low bar. That never happens, She understood that was just a fluky thing. And then the same with beam, you know, we've been hitting those all week in practice. So, boy, great meet, great resolve to finish floor like she did. So love to see that. Super excited about that.
And the last thing we'll touch on is the layout full.
Yeah.
As Jossie and I were both talking here, we can't remember anybody in the state in the last however many years throwing a layout full. I mean, you got Amy Fridley, who's one of the top gyms, only throwing a layout as well. And
Yeah.
so what came about the layout full? I mean, I know she's been working on it, but
Yeah.
pretty awesome, pretty exciting to see.
Yeah, pretty awesome. We were working on it in practice, and we put it on the mat to, let's see, I forget what day it was, but she did it, and then she did it without me standing there, and she got a little bit of confidence with it. So, you know, we were talking yesterday and just said, okay, we're going to get out there, and if you hit a good layout, you know, you stand one up, then we're going to do the full and, you know, make some history. So
Yeah.
she, you know, we're not going to settle for that. She didn't stand it up, right? So the first full twisting layout, Yurchenko, competed, but we're gonna hopefully make the first one here before
Stick
the
to the
season's
first
over.
run,
Yeah.
right? Exactly. Yeah.
But no, yeah, that was so exciting, and boy, she's been working hard, and just to get the first layout, I'm more impressed with that because the judges that she had, let's see, I forget what meet it was. It was like our first or second home meet, and you know, they were the ones there, and they got her hard on it. I think they got her like 4/10 or something like that, and they were wowed today by her layout, Yurchenko, and that showed, I think, 9.55.
Yep, she was up there. She got some height on it, so it was good to see.
Yeah.
Minot next Friday, then Grand Forks the Friday after that, then it's EDC.
Yeah.
So season's going fast, wrapping up.
Yep.
Tell me just a little bit before we wrap up. I know we got the young girls going to Mega tomorrow in Farmington. So excited for that. I'm sure those girls are excited. Just tell me a little bit about Mega and what it is, just so people understand.
Absolutely. Mega is Midwest Amateur Gymnastics Association. I think it started something like 1980, and essentially it was just put in place for some of these younger kids to, you know, that maybe didn't want to go the USA route, to do gymnastics and to do it largely in clubs that are tailored towards feeding a high school program. Mega does the same rule book. They have the same rule book as your NDHSSA. So, you know, they're doing all the same routines, all the same rules, and essentially building towards that, towards feeding a high school program, which is kind of what we want here. You know, we want to establish a dynasty both with Mega and our high school program. So that's essentially what it is. And, you know, some of the benefits that I see to it is I get to make my own I get to have my own coaching philosophy. I get to have my own progressions put into place. Athletes that progress on one event over another have freedom to go and compete that skill. You know, I don't want to in any way say I'm knocking the USA system, but you know, when you start in those compulsory levels, you're really limited as to what you can do. So you have a level 4 athlete who maybe excels on vault is held back and not able to kind of demonstrate that. So, you know, I think USA has been moving in the direction to where they see that and want to make a correction and sort of raise the bar in terms of those lower levels. But at this point, for me, that's the best route for us. That gives us the most freedom, and it fits my coaching philosophy the best. So
excited for that. One last thing I'm going to touch on is team high score, 142.575.
Whoa.
So nice team score.
Yeah.
37.3 on floor.
Wow.
Right?
Awesome.
Exactly. So we're getting there.
We're getting there. That's good. Yeah.
We're not there, but we're getting there.
Yeah.
So great meet. Good job. We'll look forward to seeing you Friday in Minot.
You bet. Thank you.
In ninth place from Washington with a 31.725, Haley Hansen. In eighth place from Washington with a 31.775, Annika Perkalo. In seventh place from Valley City with a 32.375.
Well, Jossie, another meet in the books. Another great meet. A stepping stone, the right direction for Valley City, 142.575. What are your final thoughts on the meet today, and what are you looking forward to mostly out of the Valley City team in the future here?
I thought they had a great meet. We couldn't ask for much better on floor especially. But I think I'm really excited just to see how they compete at EDC and state. It's going to be such a great competition, especially having more girls in the 15, hopefully. It's going to be really good.
Yes, it will be. Well, thanks for tuning in. Again, Jossie Crewell joined by James Thornton, Derek Bear. Thanks for watching us on the Highlander Activity Network. Have a good night.
And your all-around champion from Valley City with a 37.60, Abby Thornton. Ladies present. And your team scores in fourth place, Fargo with a 63.075. Third place, Fargo Davies with a 121.50. In second place is Watson with a 127.70. And your champion for the BC quad is Valley City with a 142.575. Thank you for attending the Valley City quad. Please drive safe.